Wednesdays, where all things said are alleged, allegedly, and for entertainment purposes only. Whew. So, goodness, goodness, goodness. You know what, y'all? Something ran across my mind, and I thought about it, and I thought about it again, and I said, you know what? I think I want to tap into this. So, we hear all these people talking about how Lotto's album is flopping, right? What came across my mind, hold on, yeah, let me cut my ringer off. What came across my mind was, how does her father feel about her, talking about she's got to look to her man for things because her father wasn't there and how he didn't lead her right. So this isn't the first, that I've heard her say that her father wasn't there. She did another song where she had a video to it where she talked about her father not being there. So that's something I want to look at. Like, how in the world does her father feel about her stating that she got to go to her man for the things that her daddy wasn't there for? And then on top of that, that right there gave such like a whole nother level of insight as to why she's hanging on to 21 the way that she's hanging on to him. Because if her daddy didn't do what he was supposed to do by her, that affects your self-esteem, your self-worth, you having the ability to know or recognize actual love and what love really is. So it made me think, and I said, you know what, interesting enough. I think that's a good topic to go off into because now that she's a parent, it's going to change her perspective on her father and what he did and what he didn't do because she's going to, sometimes it's like you have PTSD from your childhood and you don't recognize that you have PTSD from your childhood until things, in everyday life um, start to trigger you and you start to have things manifest. And if her and 21 don't make it, or he turns out to not be the father that she expects him to be for their daughter, think about how that's going to trigger her and take her back to her childhood with her father. And now it's like, damn, I understand my mom a lot better now. Or it makes you think like, well, why did my mom put up with this? Or, where did I get this from to, think that this is the way things are supposed to be. So let me see. I will make that my first tap in because that was one thing that I thought about. And I said, you know what? I haven't heard any of the reactors mention that. Everybody's been talking about, this whole album was like a love compilation to 21 Savage. And for me, I said, wait a minute, you put your daddy out there and said that he teaches you things that your daddy never taught you. You go to him for the guidance that your daddy never gave you. And it makes me go back to the baby shower where we find out that not only was 21 Savage there, but the wife was there, and then his other baby mom was there. And it's like your dad was in the middle of all that. So it does make your dad look a little on the shaky side. Like, I know you're an adult, you can do whatever it is you want to do, but I'm not going to go sit, and this is me personally, I'm not going to go sit at a baby shower for my daughter and your child's father brings his wife and his other baby mom, his current wife, not his, you know, we're legally separated, and even that could be messy, but not, legally separated, or we've actually got a divorce, but we're good co-parents and have been for years. Like, how do you as a father sit there in the midst of something like that like it's no big deal? That's kind of messy. I mean, to each his own. I see people saying, "Oh, well, it's poly and this, that, and the other." But if it's poly, we're not seeing them work together as a unit. Just because you see a picture of them together or you see a video of people that link up after hanging out, that does not make them poly. That just means they all know about each other and it is what it is. Poly people work together within the same household or confines, things like that. So it just, it's one of those things to where it's like you look at Lotto and you almost feel a little sorry for her, because what happens when, okay, let's say you get the upgrade, right? You get the man the way that you want him. What happens when that man says, okay, you're wifey, and now I'm gonna go out and find another you? Because see, when you're in her position, it's like, well, I'm getting everything I want. Yeah, he married, but he been with me. And you're boosting yourself up with all of the trivial parts of it. But what happens when you become wifey and then he gets another chick that he's with for 3, 4, 5 years on the side? Are people gonna call that poly? Is she gonna be as comfortable when there's a new chick in her position? Because you see this man like to rotate out his chicks, but he was rotating them and, and keeping them all, in a queue. So I don't see how she believes that this is going to work on a level to where finally, when you get him to where you want him, he's just not going to want to be with any other female. When you came into it literally by hook or crook, that's usually not how that works. You might get to where you want to be, you might get everything you want, but you're going to get some parts you don't want too. And the parts you don't want is the parts that his wife had to experience when she found out about you. Those are the parts you don't want. Being locked in with this man, and then soon as you had his baby and you get comfortable, another woman could pop out pregnant. Are you going to be welcoming her into the fold, with open arms? The next chick pop up pregnant, are you gonna ride around and do videos with her too, like you did with the wife and the other baby mama? It's just interesting. I don't think when that turns around, she's gonna be that comfortable with anybody coming after her, after all the work she had to do to get in this position. And really, he getting everything he wants, so he don't have to do nothing different. He doesn't have to evolve. He doesn't have to change. Nobody's holding his feet to the fire. He gets everything he wants out this equation. Excuse me, until he doesn't want it. So let's see how her father feels. Let's see how Lotto father feels about what she said on the album about her having to go to her man for things that her dad didn't do or didn't teach her. And you said the Lotto situation reminds me of Beyonce and Jay-Z and her dad. Interesting. I give B more credit than this because no matter who Jay was dealing with, um, Jay, you know, Jay always allowed Beyonce to be on a higher level than the other women that he was dealing with. So never in these equations were any of these women ahead of Beyonce publicly. Even though it took him a while to marry her, they had been together for, almost a decade. We still didn't see her visibly as the side chick who was infringing on the foundation of a relationship that's already established. Now, whatever they didn't show us, it's probably a mess. It probably really is. But they gave a really good PR treatment to the way that we see their marriage. So you've got the Knight of Wands here and the Magician. So when it comes to her dad's energy, okay, dad could have been a playboy, Mr. I Get Around. Um, he may not have actually been in a relationship with her mother. It could have been like a situationship, just having fun, uh, more so than anything. And when you get the magician here, her father may also have a tendency to manipulate women through carnal affairs. So you got the death card and the king of swords. So that right there is showing me that eventually her father had to he had to clean up his energy. He had to give up that type of life out here, pretty much thotting and bopping. We got to say, allegedly for entertainment purposes. He had to give that up. I don't know if he had legal troubles that kept him out of the way, but it was a lot going on when they severed ties business wise. Seven of Swords, Queen of Pentacles. So yeah, it's a lot of distrust between her and her father. It's kind of weird. It's like, I you're my father. I love you because you're my father, but I don't trust you. And also, Queen of Pentacles represents a wife. So if he did marry her mom, it's like he's never been a trustworthy husband, allegedly. So this also makes sense why she's choosing the type of man that she's choosing, because it feels like she grew up seeing this dynamic between her mother and father. Yeah, the Hierophant, the King of Wands. That that just reiterated everything I was saying. So Hierophant talks about institutional energy, marriage, locking something in. But honey, King of Wands, eh, that's still outside type energy. That's I may not sleep around like I used to, but I still do what I used to type energy. So it just doesn't look like her father is, for the most part, a trustworthy individual when it comes to relationships. Yeah, King of Swords, Queen of Pentacles. Um, it looks like he did really good though as her manager when it came to helping her to market her brand though. So he did do well as a manager. So that's the one thing that when it came down to it, he it looks like he was flighty. You couldn't really depend on him. He was in and out. Um, but he did a good job helping her to, do what she had to do and organize her career. Well, what was the breakdown between the both of them when he left managing her? Ten of Swords, King of Wands. So this talks about a betrayal that can't be forgiven, attached to someone's actions. Justice. I don't know if he was willing to take her to court or she was going to take him to court, but it's like whatever it was like, I'll sue, I'll take you to court, or it was something between the both of them to where it feels like some money came up funny some kind of way, or something he did was totally untrustworthy when it came to how he was moving. Yeah, Four of Wands, Six of Pentacles. So her energy is saying that she gives a lot to her family. Um because of her, everybody has stability. She's given them a lot of money, a lot of things to help balance out everybody's life. Ace of Coins, Page of Cups. It's kind of sad when you see Ace of Coins to Page of Cups, because it's like the relationship between her and her family to a certain extent feels very transactional. And it's that thing to where you have to be careful giving to people because they don't fall in love with you, they fall in love with the hand that gives to them. So it's like she's definitely done a lot for her family. Nobody in her family can say, for whoever the key members are in the family, that she hasn't looked out for the family. It feels like she overly compensates. She wants everybody to have the things that they never had before, and it's like she's getting to the point to where she's tired of that, especially now that she's become a mother. She's not going to give the way that she used to. I mean, that's to be expected though. So Knight of Wands, Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Cups. So it's like Lotto's trying to follow her intuition on doing what it takes to not only get her money up, but to become a wife. Um, Knight of Wands to the Queen of Pentacles. So y'all, they may have, hooked up when they first met. Okay. It could have been like first date, smash, and it turns into a relationship. And she feels like from that moment on, it's going to turn into forever. I definitely would not be surprised to find out if they hooked up on the first date, because it looks like she's looking at, I never would have thought that we would have smashed on the first date and then I would become your wife. Okay, so it's like bringing a situation to rest over generational wealth and money. Her and her dad definitely got into it over business and something to do with the money. And it got to the point to where she felt like she couldn't trust him, like even threatened to take him to court, or had every intention on taking him to court. Said nothing is sacred, private, or personal with these internet era rappers. Said I feel like she's said that in her song before. I could be wrong. I don't listen to her music a lot, so I wouldn't be able to pull the reference from her music. But I do remember she had a song some years ago. She had curly hair in the video where she talked about her daddy wasn't there. And this was years ago. This might have been right before she hooked up with 21, or maybe at the beginning. I don't know. But she definitely doesn't trust her dad, especially when it comes to business. Yeah. And she may have, sat with this for a while because this talks about not knowing what direction to go in when it comes to work. So she may have sat on this for a minute before she decided to actually move on how she felt. And yeah, these two could have had a silent battle over her career and management to where she had to threaten to literally take her daddy to court to dissolve some kind of contract or something. This gives me she fired her daddy. Not he stepped down, but she fired him. So there's some stuff going on that as a family they would like to keep quiet. They like to keep secret. And it feels like six of coins. As long as she can take care of everybody, they'll all comply, they'll do whatever, because she's affording them their lifestyle. But the moment that she can't afford these people the lifestyle that they're accustomed to or what they want off of her, I wouldn't be surprised if they start exposing secrets. Happy birthday! Yeah, the tower, the lovers. Yeah, her daddy is one of those type that just seem like he can't get it together. It's that lover boy energy and that always trying to be slick, always trying to get ahead of something, always trying to just push the needle to see if he can do a little bit more and a little bit more. And like you ended up becoming a disaster when it was all said and done. You're welcome. So, Two of Pentacles. This talks about being betrayed, being juggled by the father. She has a lot of daddy issues. A lot of father wounds. Yeah, we got the Strength card here, the High Priestess, and the Knight of Cups. So, Strength card here, Justice. It's like she's trying to hold everything together to get things in balance. Um, this right here lets me know that there's so much going on beneath the exterior for what people can see that people don't even understand. Um, and then we got, this romantic offer here, or, extending the olive branch, like somebody waving a white flag. And it's a lot of deep feelings here, but not speaking on how you feel. So it feels like she may, tolerate, or she has learned to like choke down people's existence and make the best out of it while not expressing herself and stating how she really feels. And it's starting to boil over. It's starting to really, really, really become a issue now. And I don't think that this would have been such an issue um, before. It's like, I want to say before she got in the mindset of motherhood, because I don't think that her getting pregnant was just by random. She's wanted to have a baby for a long time. She's wanted to have a baby. She's wanted to be a wife. And it seems like the more that she gets in that mindset about being a wife and being a mother, it angers her even more with her father because of all the things that he didn't do, him not being there, him not, you know, um, being a provider the way that he should have been. And being a provider is not just about money, but providing, you know, love, providing wisdom, providing guidance. It's so many things that it feels like he didn't provide, or it's like he doesn't know how to process that. It takes more than just throwing a couple of dollars at somebody to pay some bills, or coming in, trying to, stroke somebody, all this, that, and the other. It takes more than that to have a consistent relationship. And I don't see that her father is accustomed to consistent relationships where he has to, actually toe the line. He has to pull his weight, and he has to only be within the constraints of that relationship. So all of this, and I got to say alleged for entertainment purposes only, if this is remotely true, this makes all the sense in the world why she chose somebody like 21 Savage. Even though she dislikes her father's ways and the type of things that he's done, she is dating her father, you know, um, by picking a man that has his type of energy. So she's got to literally heal from the daddy issues. She's got to heal from the father wounds so that she can get out of this cycle, because it's like she's looking for the masculine and paternal love that she never got. And she's accepting the lowest common vibration because she's seen this. Like, she's seen this in her own childhood and her own life, where you could just come and give the breadcrumbs, the bare minimum, and as long as you show up and take a picture or something 2 or 3 times a year, it is what it is. So yeah, it's like she's literally dealing with a man who is giving her all of her father's vibes. So it's one of those things to where either you're going to heal and repel that type of energy, or you're going to attract that energy because that's what you know. So you've got to be willing to do the healing work so that you can break this generational curse and you don't have to deal with this. Yeah. So wish fulfillment, 3 of Cups. So she feels like she's got everything that she wants out of this situation. She doesn't care if she's got to share him with multiple women. It's her wish fulfillment. So it doesn't feel like poly at all, but at the same token, it feels like she knows that she has to share, and she doesn't mind that as long as she is like the top of the hierarchy. She has to know that, I'm the main bitch. I'm the number one. I'm the one that, runs everything. But you can't be the one that runs everything and the one that's going to be in control of everything, because that's the one that he legally married. Anything happens to him, when it comes down to it, child, she the one signed those papers. She's the one that's got to contact all of his family. She's the one that can go and close out all of his accounts, sell his properties, and on and on and on. So um, just wow. Ace of Pentacles. So Four of Pentacles and Nine of Wands. So this is saying that, this is wow. This before I go any further, wow. So this is giving me the energy of, when she allowed her dad, or when her parents both decided, because that's more like it, when her parents both decided that he was going to manage her career. It seems like he was struggling. He was going through some things. He may have been on his knees, and he saw his daughter as a way to create generational wealth from this business opportunity. Page of Pentacles. Remember, she was a small child when she first started rapping. So it's like once she fired her father, he returned back to the same energy. He never, balanced out and created a company that was viable without her. It was the moment she cut him off, he literally went back to whatever he had before they stopped working together. So it's the energy of he has to, pretty much let her call the shots at this point because she's the goose that's laying the golden egg for the family. So wow. Wow, wow, wow. That's hmm. He gives me user vibes. He really does. I don't care how nice he can be, how charming, people around him may think he is. He gives user vibes. And it seemed like she finally got tired, but it's like until she heals from the energy between her and her dad, she's going to continue to live this cycle out and relive her mother and her father's karmic energy, unfortunately. Uh, Last words for dad. So, all he was thinking about was like how this was going to bring happier times, but he ends up getting exposed. Yeah, the magician. So, he feels like she doesn't manifest as well as she could without him. The lovers, the queen of wands. So, it's like her father is also acknowledging that her head is too far in the clouds in this relationship. Um, Three of Cups, Seven of Wands. So this talks about, standing your ground, fighting for what you believe in to, be able to be in a winning circle and celebrate. And it's just amazing to me to look at the duality between her father and her man. And it's like she gets angry at him for walking away from their mom. Eight of Cups to the Empress. So that still triggers her how he left their mom to do what they had to do. This talks about him, just being out here, just doing the most, not really thinking things through. The Fool to the Ace of Wands. So ain't no telling how many children he done made all across Ohio and Georgia, y'all. I'm just gonna say that. Allegedly and for entertainment purposes only. He may have three fourths households worth of children, possibly allegedly. Yeah. And it's like every time, you try to invest in a situation, you end up getting into it. Um, she's got a lot of healing to do when it comes between her and her father, and it just looks like it's best for them not to work together, just coexist as family, because it's like they get to working together and things go downhill. So man, oh man, oh man, it made it more than clear why she chooses the type of relationship she has. Gotta heal from the daddy issues, the daddy wounds. Man, oh man, oh man, y'all. Alrighty, so now that we got that one out the way, let me go look and see what I got written down. Alrighty, so we've got Boosie assault case. Sauce Walker crashes out over his baby mama and Drake. Stefan Diggs ask her. Mob ties allegedly shutting down Finesse two-time shows. And All Star JR, um, he has another case that he's just been hit with where he could be facing up to 99 years from the state because of the paralysis from Ben 10. So I haven't done an update since he got this state charge. And for me, it's kind of peculiar that the state would go so hard now. It's like, you mean to tell me, state of Texas, y'all didn't go pick up none of the people that assaulted this man, not one, and it was on camera, but y'all can go and pick up the person who got attacked. And that's the only person that's sitting in custody. That's crazy to me. Even if you picked him up, all of them should have been in custody. Every last one of them. How's the victim the only one in custody? So that in itself to me is just a wow moment because it's just one of those things when it's like, what do you mean? What do you mean? So you're saying because Ben 10 is paralyzed and this man set up and lied about being paralyzed for weeks. So because he's paralyzed, y'all didn't hit him with a charge for paralyzing his attacker. But why is his attacker not down to the county in that wheelchair? Because being disabled does not disable you from catching charges. Soon as he was able to get up and he was out of ICU, he should have been transported right on over to the county, put in their infirmary, and he should have sat there until it was time for him to see the judge. And his case should have been expedited because you got such a, alleged violent history. So I think it's quite interesting the way that they're pulling it with this case with JR. They're trying to pull a RICO off the fact that the firearm was purchased in another state. It came from Georgia. Now, what I find to be absolutely ridiculous about that is that y'all saw on camera that that firearm fell out of someone's waistband, hit the floor, and he used it. So if it came from a whole nother state, it wasn't purchased in Texas, and he didn't bring that firearm with him and he left it there. He actually put the firearm at the hostess stand. He didn't take it with him. So you can't charge him with possession because he didn't bring it. He left the weapon there. So you can't get him for that. So if it's not his, y'all know it ain't his because you saw live videos, plus y'all had to go back and get surveillance from the establishment. And then some of these people were dumb enough to be out at other restaurants having actual birthday parties, y'all. So here it is. They want us to believe that they came there like 30 minutes before the kitchen closed or 30 minutes before closing period. And you're talking about you brought a whole birthday party with you when the bar and the restaurant is closing. That's not how parties work. You're there that late, you can get some hors d'oeuvres. You get something, off the app, menu. Order y'all first and second round because we're gonna be closed in about an hour. That's more so how that goes. So here it is. It's video of y'all out at another establishment, which means every time y'all hit that IG or that Snapchat or whatever social media you decided to use, not only is that a chronological digital timestamp, they're going to be able to ping your phone at the location that you were at when you took that video and uploaded it. So if that video is pinged and uploaded according to your phone company 20 to 30 minutes away from where y'all claim y'all were going to be, for this dinner, or you claim that folks were already there. That shows that y'all made a concerted effort to leave where you were to come where JR was to make something happen to him. Now, I've already told y'all in the past that somebody that works in that restaurant, um, they're going to be facing charges soon enough because somebody in that establishment leaked his location. And from what I can see spiritually, not only did they leak his location, they made sure that it was like, I don't know if it's like text messages or, you know, what do you call it? Like FaceTime audio or something. It's a consistent communication some kind of way where they made sure that they knew, okay, well, he here, he just ordered this and this, he gonna be here for a minute. Apps came out and all his dinner ain't out yet. Like it's like people knew his service, like his courses were coursed out in the text message, letting people know what type of time limit they had to get there, so they knew he was going to sit there for a minute because they knew by what him and the girl he was with ordered. Like, oh, well, we got a minute, right? So, with that being said, it's a whole lot of people about to have liability because that makes the restaurant liable because it's your employee that is giving information about a patron that you shouldn't be giving anybody because that jeopardized that man's safety. And then here it is. I don't know how true this is, but they're stating that Prince Jr. has like part ownership in this establishment. So if that is true, you can't say that whoever gave the information didn't have a vested interest to give you information because you could possibly be their boss. So it ain't nothing to be back and forth on the phone, kicking it with my boss or, whoever transferring messages. If you are a part of this establishment, then yes, you can get, updates on what's going on in that establishment and nobody would think anything of it because it's a employer, employee employer communication. But the problem is once that communication is made public, it's going to get real ugly because you're not supposed to be using your employees to keep like a human GPS on people so that you can set them up allegedly for entertainment purposes only. That goes off into conspiracy. And when you get off into conspiracy is a good 2025 off the rip, regardless of whatever happened. So for me, what I'm trying to figure out is instead of charging JR with 99 years because he paralyzed his attacker, when are we going to talk about Jay Prince Jr. and why hasn't he been picked up yet? And why isn't he possibly being charged for facilitating an incident that could have took somebody's life allegedly? So let's tap into this all-star JR energy. Let's see what my spirit guys has to say since he's received this charge that could bring 99 years. So you got the Four of Wands here, the Page of Cups, and it's like you got to give it to All Star because it's like his mindset is solid. It's like he's fixed on what it is he's going to do. So it's not like his mindset changed after they hit him with this other charge. It's like, okay, well, we're going to take it to trial and blow. And, it's like he's sorry that this happened, but he's not sorry for what he had to do, which he shouldn't be. Nobody would have got it if they didn't come for him. So, oh well. So you've got the moon here, and he's trying to follow his intuition, but he doesn't know what to expect. He's also sitting in there and he's thinking about business opportunities, work. It's like his mind is always thinking money. He's always thinking hustle. He definitely is a true 7 mile person to the death, because I mean, he's sitting in there, he's already thinking in his head, how can I flip this money 10 stacks? I've been sitting in here for a minute. I need to make sure when I come out, my money really be busting. I need to really get out here and bend these corners. So he don't know what to expect when it comes to his charges, but he's keeping himself focused, where it's like, I'm going to function on creating music. I'm going to function on writing. I'm going to function on, you know, building future empires in my head. So when I get out, I'm on go. Literally, you can't stop me. So you got the 5 of Cups here, which talks about shame, public humiliation, and disgrace. The Death card at the bottom of the deck. It's like they're really trying to build a PR campaign against JR, because it's like they want to make him seem like the violent offender, where it's like he could have died, he could have, he could be gone because of your actions. And it's like, when is anybody going to say that Ben 10, whatever happened to him, it would have been his own damn fault? Now, am I tripping or am I tripping? It's like, you trying to rob people, you trying to snatch people chains off their neck, and you just happen to drop a firearm. That pretty much sounds like the universe tied up all the loose ends. That kind of seemed like whatever was supposed to happen was supposed to happen. It was ordained to happen that way. Because how dare you be that damn stupid to attack somebody, a group of y'all attack somebody, y'all already got the upper hand, and you drop the firearm. It's like that that was like, if heaven had a ghetto, somebody on the hood side of heaven said, my baby was good, and slid him the pistol. Because come on now. So they're definitely trying to shame JR. They want the streets to turn on him, because there's a lot riding, a lot that they got invested here, and they need this to move forward as swiftly as possible. Parallax, what you laughing at? I'm serious. So, one of the gangster thugs, they like, my baby. Boom, there you go. You ain't even got to worry about it. Cleanse, cleanse the road. Are we giving you permission to go John Wick? You're welcome. So they're worried, because it's like they got so much invested right now, and it's like the truth could come out, and they want to control the narrative, allegedly, of how people talk about this, because they don't want whatever this truth is to get out, because it could affect everything that they have invested in as a whole. Would you say? You said Hot Wheels is not the victim here. Not Hot Wheels. Oh, not Hot Wheels. Oh Lord. I can't even say you wrong for that, because he's not. Shoot, he wouldn't have Hot Wheels if he left people alone. So here it is. You got the Ace of Cups, and this is the bigger problem, because it's like they're trying to hurry up. Look like I got a package coming from Amazon. So they're trying to hurry up and rush this case, because it's a groundswell of love for JR. They didn't expect this many people to care, and now the people want the truth. And they're afraid that this situation is going to unearth or unmask a lot of secrets from the past. and they don't need these other secrets to, pretty much see the light of day, allegedly. So expect more people to, blog from the streets or vlog, however you want to say it. You're going to have a lot of people that are going to start to tell stories about things that they had happen to them while they were doing business, whether it's Rap a Lot or the Sun's version, Mob Ties. More people are going to come out and they're going to talk about how, they did business and things happened to them or things of that nature. You're going to have a lot of people that are going to blog and get the story out. And remember, I told y'all the Snitch Olympics, blogging was going to be the new snitching. People are going to tell their life stories through blogs, aka snitch, for payment, for the come up. And you're going to have a lot of vlogs that are going to do very well, or they're going to actually manifest because of this energy. So they're worried about the past coming out because of JR, but it looks like this is like sparked a lot of nostalgia for people who always wanted to say something, but now they feel like now is the time. So it's like everybody is looking at JR like man, this is crazy. Like, dude is solid, right? So you got a lot of people that are in their feels because King of Cups, like they feel very deeply, but they're not saying anything about this burden. So it's like, the streets is like, man, I feel his pain. Free my homie JR. He ain't do nothing he wasn't supposed to do. So this is actually getting more people behind JR's side of this, the independent, okay? And this is turning into a PR nightmare for anybody that's involved on the other side because they thought that this would have, pretty much dried up and died off already and people would be done with this. But it's like they're becoming more and more intrigued, and this is causing people to call for their downfall. Yeah, so you got this fool card that says take a leap of faith. And at this point, it's like JR is in the energetic frequency of I'm gonna just follow my intuition. I talk to God about it. I ain't got to know everything, but I know how this is going to work out because I got faith. Regardless of what I see, I believe I can beat this. So I'm gonna take it to court, and we gonna do what we got to do in court. So pretty much the information that they want, instead of him, snitching the way they want him to do, what he plans on doing is proving what actually happened through them taking him to court. And then it's like, I ain't got to tell you nothing. Here go all the pieces. We put it together. Now that we lined it up, go do what you got to do with it, right? So you got the Five of Wands here, and you got the High Priestess. So people are being real interesting with that type of energy because it's like you got folks worried about their stability. They're fighting to keep their stability. Four of Wands to the Five of Wands, and also the Five of Wands to the High Priestess is telling you that there's more secrets to come around this fight, things that people don't know yet that are about to be exposed. Um, So it's like they playing real dirty with JR because it's like they're looking into his life, who's he, who he's connected to. And if you've been watching me for a while, I told y'all that the feds will hit Houston, Baton Rouge, and Detroit after this. They're going to use this as a launch pad to look into all three cities to find out who's moving and shaking what so that they can have the biggest takedown that they can have. It might not be all at the same time, but it will be like a domino effect. Yeah, so you got the magician and the king of wands. So it's like all of these things manifested off of this person's actions. over his baby mom, the mother of his child, the empress. So it's like it's all this shame, humiliation, and regret attached to how this manifested over the mother of his child. But I mean, Knight of Wands, I mean, excuse me, King of Wands is like, I'm out here. I do me. I'm Ric Flair. You know what I'm saying? The chicks see me and they go, woo! So I ain't worried about my baby mama. You trying to fight me over her, and I'm so lit that I could go pick up 10 more of her. So he's very arrogant in that way. So I don't see him feeling no type of way about the baby mom, because it's like he's really got it in his head that he that dude. So she's neither here nor there, but she holds her position because she's the mother of his son. Yeah. So he's definitely looking at everything that he has invested, how this is going to turn out, how this is going to manifest. He may be a protector and provider for, many people, like family or people that are close to him, like people that may work for him. So he's thinking about, how the uncertainty is going to affect, his whole entire infrastructure, not just him, but those that depend on him. So Queen of Pentacles, Ace of Swords, Queen of Wands. Yeah, that's very interesting because remember, I'm telling you, there's a lot of weird feminine energy attached to this whole situation. And it's like there's more truth to come about the baby mama, the relationship with Prince Jr. Um, Yeah, I get the feeling that the baby mama ain't even with Prince Jr. anymore, and they're keeping that under wraps because God forbid that these two aren't together after going dummy and doing all of this. It feels like they may not even be talking to each other anymore. Yeah, because he wants balance through a new beginning, falling under the Ace of Cups. So it's like Prince Jr. wants her back. Six of Wands. He's trying to get her to come back. So he's very tender, allegedly, over this female. Yeah, the Chariot. Yeah, they're pushing this case as fast as they possibly can because what they're trying to do is keep more information from the past from coming out. They're trying to limit as much liability as they possibly can, force this to go in another direction. Like they need JR to cave because it feels like they don't have enough on him. Either it's like we need your lawyer to be crappy or we need you to cave. So he's definitely going through a lot, but I see him tapping in mentally and spiritually to where he's keeping his spirits up, and he still got it in his mind that he's going to move forward victoriously. So I don't see defeat on his energy. He's going to stand up and he's going to fight his ground, and he know it's going to cost him a pretty penny to do so, because like this one of those types of cases where you might blow a meal or two on your lawyer easy. But the interesting thing about it is, even though JR is up and coming or he's regional, he can touch that kind of money if need be for his legal team. So that's a backfire on the family as well, because this ain't no regular little Rudy Poo dude from off the block that don't have it like that. Like there's things that he could put up, things that, he could grab that would literally get him whatever money he need for his lawyers. So he's definitely got some affluence here. How long that's going to last is the question. Yeah, so messages coming out soon, attached to the fight. And y'all, they're gonna be very aggressive when they move forward with this case because the bigger picture is We just need a conviction. We need you out of the way before more information comes out. The Tower, Six of Wands. So it feels like he felt destroyed once he got this new charge, because it's like he just knew, okay, that original stuff, I can beat that. That's flimsy. That ain't no big deal. Um, so interesting enough, Three of Wands and the Ten of Pentacles. If he is to leave and get off, beat this case, he's got plenty of opportunities coming his way. He'll have plenty of work, plenty of money on the floor. That definitely won't be an issue. So I do see them getting some new evidence on this case, or the lawyer being very, very strategic on this case, because there's things that his lawyer is going to expose that's going to force them to have to relook at this from the criminal side of it for the other party. Yeah. So this talks about leaving behind toxic and chaotic energy, getting into a position of where you go towards things that are better for you. Justice. Who Lord. Yeah, his case stressed me the hell out. My God. But it's definitely somebody needs him to sit down so that they can have a balance through a new beginning. And there's a lot of anxiety here, a lot of anxiety. Queen of Wands, um, because there's more information to come about the baby mama, to what actually happened. Like y'all, it's gonna be to the point to where uh Prince Junior, he's gonna look so corny when this is all said and done, because people are gonna be like, that can't be what's really going on here. That can't be the real thing. That can't be the real reason. So Four of Swords talks about convalescence, laying someone to rest for some money. Um, Now that's interesting because that's the Six of Cups, the Chariot, and the Four of Swords. So that literally, like someone tying up all type of loose ends to keep the past from becoming a thing. There's so many other things that they can't afford to be looked off into. And they're doing whatever they have to do to protect the brand, protect the money, protect the legacy. The Empress, Queen of Swords. Yeah, I hope I'm wrong on that one. I really hope I'm wrong on that one. Please, 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 please be wrong. Um, let's just say it could be a surprise witness, um, someone that he doesn't expect to take the stand that could speak against him. Um, Y'all, this whole entire ridiculous case is hinged on his child's mother. Everything is hinged on the child's mother, but it's like that's exactly what they need to get into the inner workings of the family so that they can look at other things. And this is what it feels like they're afraid of, because once they get to looking for one thing, it's no telling how many other things they could find. So JR, he's continuing to follow his intuition. Um, he's going through it. Don't get me wrong, he's going through it. But he feels like when it's all said and done, people gonna be sorry when they find out what really happened. And he's just hoping that this don't backfire on him. Let's see. Wheel of Fortune, Page of Swords. So it looks like, I mean, whatever his lawyer lined up, it 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 it's being, it's being backed up by video, things that are tangible, things that could be seen. Remember, I said like social media, videos people put up, posts that people put up. Is it's the lawyer did a good job on tying together the timeline. If they go to court with what I'm seeing, they will not only do the rest of the untying for mob ties, but they will also prepare mob ties to be handed over to the feds, because all of this is RICO all over it. Criminal enterprise type stuff. So, he's definitely taking a hit to his money, and this is where it gets weird, because it's like they may try to sue JR for Ben 10 becoming injured. What the whole entire, yeah, the feds, they want this family so bad, they salivating, and they're willing to throw JR or anybody they need to the wood chipper if they can't get what they want. So this talks about, third party communication, gossip, partying, and how this situation is going to come to an end. And this is what I find to be so interesting about this. They're definitely going to try to use his music and his visual arts against him. But if I'm not mistaken, y'all, didn't Jay-Z have a law put into fruition where he, lobbied until it came about that they can't use your lyrics or your art against you in court? Didn't he do that? So it's like, if he did that, if I'm not mistaken, that could work out for JR, because it's like this is art. You can't use my art against me. And if they take that off the table, then they have to take the character assassination and all of those types of things off the table. They can't build the narrative they want to build without, attacking the art, because it's a huge energy around them using the art for a character analysis. You said it's in California. Okay. Okay. I knew it was somewhere. Thank y'all. Gavin signed it. Not surprised. So yeah, it's like, y'all, they really are playing hockey with him. It's like either you're going to help us to score this goal or we're going to go into the penalty box. Period. Like, you're the only one that's expendable. We'll just put you in the penalty box. So, damn. Page of Cups, the Ten of Pentacles. Yeah, they're whoever this person is with the feds is really, really, really pushing asshole territory, because it's like now it's like they got a hard on for taking everybody down that is a part of this situation. And my thing is, the only person that you shouldn't have a hard on for in this situation was the person that was literally sitting there enjoying a meal with their date. I don't want to say girlfriend because they might not even been on that level, but he was sitting there enjoying a meal with the date. So why would you go this hard against him and he got attacked by everybody? Do you have a familial tie? Are you tied in with somebody in the family? Y'all, this feels like a familial tie, because it's like I asked, are you tied in with somebody in the family? And the answer is whoever they're tied into, this made them go in a different direction. And it was like once they realized it was video, like it's video evidence, we need to just we need to handle this as fast as possible. Hurry up and rush this situation before they get more evidence. We don't need this case to take that long. Yeah, they're going to lean very heavily on the fact that he left after the situation happened. This is also telling me that someone may have been compensated to go in a different direction, to walk in a different direction in this equation. Said JR need to sue that restaurant. I believe so. I definitely believe so because y'all allowed them to come in there and harm him. What were the measures that the restaurant took to keep him safe? Because I see that somebody from the restaurant was involved in giving information on his whereabouts. Yep. You got the Justice card and the Knight of Pentacles. So it's like one side wants to slow this case down, the other one wants to speed it up. So if the case turns in JR's favor, it's like they're going to try to drag it out as long as possible until they can figure out what to do to bring it to a halt. So they're even going to try to spend up all of his money so that, he'll run out of resources to fight this case. Because whatever this is, whatever it's attached to, they don't know how to move forward because it's like somebody got caught being toxic. And this is all over a female. So they're going to try to change the narrative about, the way that these two dealt with each other. You got Seven of Swords here, which is the backdoor card, sneaking up on somebody, catching somebody off guard over what? Conflict in communication or an argument. So, Prince Jr., child, you might need to go on one of them damn islands that your daddy owned and not come back because this looks like all of this popped off because you didn't like the fact that you and him had a verbal altercation of some kind, and you did the most because you didn't like him checking you. That's what this looks like. Oh, child. Any last words for JR? Seven of Cups. So he's considering every option he has because there's lots of confusion around what's actually going on with this situation. And it's like he's like, look, I'm gonna take a gamble. Two of Pentacles. I'm gonna take a gamble. I'm gonna roll the dice. What's gonna be is what's gonna be. So I still see where he's gonna take it to court. That's his energy. I don't see him buckling and taking a plea deal because somebody wants them to take a plea like it's nobody's business. So for Jr. It just yeah, he's just worried about not being able to work. That's the biggest thing on his head. Like he like I'm missing out on the grind. I'm missing out on money. So you got the Knight of Cups here. This is definitely telling me somebody wants him to take an offer, take a plea deal. But he's like, look, Dark Night of the Soul. This is a path I'm just gonna have to go on my own. Knight of Wands. So yeah, it's the weirdest thing ever because it feels like until they added this new charge, this was going to be in and out. It was going to be over. It was nothing that they were going to be able to do to really hold him due to the condition of how everything happened, because it's like it sounds like it's a strong case until you get to reading the documentation, and it's like, okay, you built this case on straws, because if the firearm came from another state and the firearm wasn't present until these people physically harmed him, it's reasonable doubt. How did it get here? Who brought it? Um, if his fingerprints were on the shell casings, we would have known that. So that means that JR didn't load the weapon, because his fingerprints should have been on the shell casings. It should have been on the cartridge that goes in the weapon. So if his fingerprints are not on those, chances are he's not the one who possessed it in the first place. So this is about to get very interesting. And this feels like this is why they're rushing this case, because it's like it's a collaborative effort. We got to hurry up and rush this case, because y'all, I'm telling you, if they don't, it's going to go in a different direction, and it's going to open up way more information that will attach to what feels like other crimes, possibly unalivements. If we know that ain't a word, but that's a word we got to use here. Allegedly for entertainment purposes only. So chances are, unless somebody was wearing gloves, they've got the DNA and the fingerprints off of whoever actually loaded that firearm, whether it's from the DNA from them, having it rub up against them on their waistband, or them actually loading the weapon. So I would believe that if that weapon is actually tested by an outside lab, they're going to find multiple DNA samples on that weapon, which is going to say, hey, if this is supposed to be his, and it's a question of if it's his, why is this other person's DNA also on this weapon if we didn't see the other person use the weapon? Yeah, so it's like it feels like they're taking this gamble with All Star JR to make him cave, to make him just accept a plea deal so everybody could walk away and, go clean their hands, do whatever it is they got to do, business as usual. But he won't fold. He won't fold. Yep. They're trying to force him to quit because they backdoored him. And this is the craziest thing, y'all. Like, what type of gangster stuff is this? Like, usually gangsters don't like, you know, um, being in the presence of police or giving comments or things like that. Like, they've done a lot of talking for people that's supposed to be gangster. It don't feel street to me, all this communicating, all this self-incrimination. But yeah, it's like they need JR to go ahead and buckle. Yeah. Because until he does, this family doesn't know how to move forward. The Ten of Cups to the Hangman, Page of Swords. It's like they got the footage. We're pretty much cooked. They don't know which way to go. So it's like put the pressure on and make him fold. And then we don't have to worry about it. That's what this feels like energetically. Yeah, and they want to end the narrative about what actually happened. They don't want anybody conversing about the argument, what actually, was the energy behind Prince Jr. and JR. Like, but we're gonna get more of that information. Prince Jr. It's like he expects to just ride off in the sunset and just get away with it. And it's like, this is just what we do. But, sir, Karma is double parked at your door and she's not leaving until you get in the car. Yeah, Five of Pentacles, Ten of Pentacles. So it's depending on how this goes. It's like the one that's being ostracized, who apparently has nothing, could end up with everything. Like one of the biggest careers ever in urban underground history. But if the truth comes out, the people who have all the money could lose everything. So they don't want the truth about what actually happened at night to get out. But it looks like, if long as JR's lawyer is solid, he should be good, because the lawyer did a lot of, like, what feels like, I'm hearing the term geo mapping, if that makes sense, to where they figured out where everyone was literally and used their social media to pinpoint and ping where they were during that evening. And folks were not where they said they were supposed to be. Stories are falling apart like crazy, and somebody's nervous and they don't need this to really go to trial. They want him to just take this L and just, hey, take it on the chin. But JR said, hey, we gonna take it to court and blow. So I ain't mad at him. I wish him all the best. Let me see something. Hold on. Do a couple of the Kipperish cards. All righty. Somebody got to go to timeout, because, child, you not about to be getting on my nerves in these comments. Whew. Karma, false narrative. So energetically, it's saying that they're putting a false narrative out on JR, and karma is going to come with it. You got real love at the bottom of the deck, which shows me that, when it comes down to it, the streets have real love for JR. So they look at him as, dude is solid. I think he good people. Like, I feel like that's what he was supposed to do. They gave him the best PR package you could ever give a gangster rapper in the history of life. You made him likable. You made him a victim of circumstance. You made people think, well, he might be a gangster, but I think, he's cool. He's got a good heart. Divine feminine, divine masculine. So, child, it's when I tell you this is so crazy. Hello, trust it. Yeah, Prince Jr. just look more and more goofy every time I look at this, because he sees the baby mom as the divine feminine. You got twin flame and expectations. Twin flame and expectations. You got destruction, karmic film. So this is what she ends up turning out to be. And this is another reason why JR ain't worried about this chick. He knows that she's a karmic film. He knows everywhere she go, dust get kicked up. He like, you can have her. That's my headache. It don't make no difference. But when it come down to it, if she wants to, she'll always come back to me. And it feels like Junior in his heart of all hearts knew that. Emotional pain, relationship. Child, he was hurt because he knew that he could never compare to JR. He knew it. Like, no matter what, she still loved him. She been with me this whole time, and I could still feel the energy between her and him. Yeah, so look, you got the awakening here, right? Nice guy, actual money, travel. So, yeah, it's like the baby mama always had the mindset that when she hooked up with Prince Jr., that it was always gonna be a trick situation, pimps up, hoes down. Like she didn't expect love. But what's even funnier is that Jay Jr. had it in his mind that JR was some kind of Rudy Poo. And then when he learned about him, when he figured out who he was, he's like, wait a minute, dude got motion. He actually got money. I'm hearing from people in the street, he's a nice guy. So it's like JR's name preceded itself and it made him jealous. Mature woman and Jezebel. So he may really like consult with his mother a lot. Yeah. Entity attachment, ancestors, and false. So I got false here twice because it's like the ancestors are bringing karma to Junior. Entity attachment, this could be narcissism, anything like that, because to me narcissism is a spiritual situation. Okay, but you got false at the bottom of the deck, which means you got false multiple times. Like you're allegedly lying on this man to ruin his life over this woman who you wanted to be, your wifey, your end all be all. But it hurts you to know that no matter what you do for her, no matter what you spend, she's always going to be into her baby daddy. And then it's kind of funny because y'all, she went over there so that he could trick on her and make her life good, and found out that Junior money don't go the way she think it go. He got to get permission to get certain amounts of money. JR money was literally in his hand. So he may not have had the mob ties money, but he has actual money. His money ain't credit. His money don't come through his daddy. His money is his money. So she kind of played herself on that. So you got relationship and commitment. So yeah, it looked like Junior was, he hyping this up like this gonna be my wifey, this. And it just it's several people around him were just like, okay, if that's what you claim you gonna do. But look at this. You've got change and divine masculine health condition. Y'all, by the time we saw that video of him in the hospital talking about his leg, they could have already not been together. So when he was telling us about his knee and having to get another surgery, it's like she had already changed up on him and was possibly in the wind. That's why we never saw her with him while he was in the hospital. Got to say allegedly and for entertainment purposes only. Yep. Unbothered with real love because she needed protection for her and her family from the community. So it looks like once everything went left with him and the baby daddy, she got the fuck on, and it's like I got to do what's best for me and my child, and we need to leave. So if you don't see any more content with him and her riding around together, it feels like this is why. Destruction, the Ice King, mentally and emotionally unstable. So, child, baby mama could have realized once she got involved with Junior that Junior was cold, he was callous, like he may have been, the way he treated her, he may have been rough or aggressive or negative. It looks like she was going through it behind the scenes, but she stayed for the money. So you got concern here and you got false paperwork, documents, info, statements, and agreements. So yeah, it looks like somebody's counting the moments, the seconds, the hours, the days until like this blows over, or at least they hope it blows over, because there's some kind of energy here, whether it's people giving false statements or someone changing documents that's about to be exposed. And they're worried about this because nobody usually takes it this far to prove or disprove anything with the family. So you got emotional pain, concern, and abuse, opposition. So I'm going to just put this out here and just say on a ledge, allegedly, allegedly, allegedly. The rumor that we heard about All Star JR checking Junior about putting his hands on his child, I'm going to lean towards that feels like that was absolutely true. But it feels like it wasn't just the child. I feel like he puts his hands on the mother and the child. I got to say allegedly for entertainment purposes only, but mother was willing to take the abuse for the life or the lifestyle. So even in that, he was being stand up because he's like, look, no matter what, I don't want her back. I'm good, but I'm gonna make sure she's good, that she's comfortable. Don't threaten her no more. Don't say nothing to my child. If I hear anything pop off, then me and you gonna have a problem. So Junior caught issues because you got called out for being abusive, allegedly, but it looks like you are. But you bitch made when it come to facing another man. So you mean tell me you like to abuse those who are vulnerable, but when a man give you that smoke, you couldn't come and handle your own fade, which shouldn't even been fade. You come with a whole crew of people to discipline somebody for telling you a whole ass individual, allegedly. Yep, the thief. Mentally unstable and emotionally unstable. So I don't think Junior's mother really liked the choice of the person that he decided to be with, but she just like, that's my son, whatever, I'll be here. Um, yeah, this is interesting because somebody involved in this situation is they need to be either medicated or go to therapy or something because it feels like a very unbalanced, unstable energy when it comes to anger. What is it behind this anger? Because I see entity attachment. That could definitely do it. Imprisonment, self love. So, yeah, they're going to try to make JR look absolutely terrible as a person and try to make this relationship loving and all types of PR foolishness. But it's like somebody is telling them to wait on pushing out this narrative because they want to see what JR's lawyer has. But I feel like there's proof where it shows like a relationship somehow of tension between the two men because JR felt like he was being abusive towards his family. So you got blocked and rising star. So they're definitely trying to block him from getting out of this case. Notice this case says 99 and he's facing up to 99 years. The rising star, they know he's a rising star, so they want to keep him from getting out, especially if he's going to be a rising star. High honors, star seed. So yeah, it's people are gonna fight for this information. They're gonna want to know the truth about what's going on. And if they succeed in any type of way, if you don't quit with this horn, if they succeed in any type of way, it's gonna be anarchy. It's definitely gonna be anarchy. The streets are going to fight back. This will be the end of the Prince family, either way it goes. And that's what the surprise is. So it's like they're trying to soften the blow and, get out here and make it seem like they're more into the community. But it's like the community is now pushing back. Yeah. Karmic masculine. They're looking at Junior as the karmic masculine. The community is fighting back. Yeah. Work, labor, efforts, and the rich girl. So that right there tells me what I just said about, his baby mom was willing to go through whatever she went through as a concerted effort to have a better life. So she just took this as part for the course, allegedly. It was like, well, at least I don't live like these regular bitches do. But child, it looked like you in jail a little bit. I wouldn't want this type of life to be taken care of. Let me take care of myself if I gotta face this. So you got the priestess, divinity, and false. False is now on the table three times. And it's like yeah, Junior, I mean JR, excuse me. JR is just staying with his faith. He's like, I'm talking to God, I'm keeping my head on straight, I'm not letting y'all get next to me. I know why I got this opposition. Shoot, either we gonna go hard or we gonna go home. I'm gonna go to court and let it blow. It's gonna be what it's gonna be, but I'm gonna trust God. I ain't gonna trust none of you. So his mind is set. They can't get him to take a plea, which is making them nervous. And he got some information that they don't need to come to light. But I mean, I don't feel sorry for nobody on the Prince side because I mean, damn, y'all can't get Junior together. Can't nobody pull him to the side and tell him stop, going out here doing the most for nothing. It's just real crazy to me that this man is in his 30s and y'all letting him run around like he's 15 years old, just keeping up stuff. That's crazy. So we've got All Star JR out the way. Now we can do Mob Ties. Are they shutting down Finesse two-time shows? Y'all, let me go close this window so I don't hear all these bikers go by. I'll be right back. Alrighty. Whew. Thank you, y'all. So, okay, Mob Ties, are they shutting down Finesse two-time shows? This is the second time that I've heard this. So it would be really crazy if he's being forced to stay in his contract and then they're, messing with his shows, which would be how he takes care of his family. if his music isn't, selling, or his units aren't moving the way they need to. So I would hope that you wouldn't keep that man there just to torture him, but stranger things have happened. All righty. Let's see, let's see, let's see. Are they messing with Finesse two times shows? Are they shutting his shows down? King of Wands and the Emperor. This definitely feels like a play is being called by somebody that's very powerful over his career. This could be coming from Senior. Everything I'm saying is alleged for entertainment purposes only. This could allegedly be coming from Senior, Two of Cups. So, King of Swords, this is an executive order, and it seems like they're not just, blocking things for Finesse. It's like it's him and his girl. I think her name is Suge. So it's like they want to make them as a unit. They want to make them feel the fire, but why? King of Pentacles and the Ten of Cups, because it's personal. They Somebody wants to affect the way he provides for his family. They know that's something that's very important to him. Page of Wands. They're trying to force him to go in a different direction, but it looks like what they're going to force him to do is going a direction he would have never expected to go in, because it's like he keeps thinking about, I don't want no problems that can lead back to the feds. I don't want any legal problems, but they're pushing a hard line with him, and it's going to force him to make a choice he normally wouldn't make. Five of Cups. Yep, shame and humiliation attached to the past. King of Swords. So, y'all, this right here shows me that Finesse is prepared to drag them and tell every piece of business that they got, expose their past, whatever it takes to humiliate them, because it's like, if you want to put me in these positions that can get me in trouble, that can get me, back in the feds, get me locked up, have me in and out of court, it's par for the course. I'm on what you on. Yeah, here's that Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords is the back door card. This is the card where somebody sets you up. Somebody is being very, very sneaky. Three of Cups talks about parties and celebrations, catching you whenever you're out, whenever you're mingling, celebrating. Um, and this also tells me Seven of Swords, somebody feels that, he's been doing too much talking about things that they feel are, you know, um, either a sneak diss or dry snitching. So it's going back and forth. Queen of Pentacles, okay? Ten of Swords. Hmm. Now that puts a different spin on it, because y'all, they may even try to use his relationship against him, either make Suge betray him or exploit something that they know about her and say she may have cheated. They are really, really willing to do whatever it takes to ruin him for how he's been out here talking. Yeah, Two of Swords, Three of Cups. This is cutting someone's energy while partying, or a celebratory situation. So that does feel like someone is going out of their way to stop him or block him from performances, especially like club dates, things of that nature. So it's like any money he makes doing a club feature is what really feeds his family, which keeps the lights on And it seems like every time he gets ready to do a club date, someone keeps putting him in the energy of close but no cigar. You can't get any work done. So it's to the point to where it's going to make it to where people just aren't going to book him. And that feels like that's what this plan is, that people are just not going to book him because it just seems like it's just too much chaos, too many different problems. Every time we book you, something jump off. So they're trying to diminish his name. Five of Swords. Yeah, and this is to try to control the narrative and what he says. And it's like we'll come down on you swiftly for, this conflict or this conflicting communication. Popping off saying things that we don't want you to say. But it seems like it's backfiring because every time they call themselves punishing him for what he's saying, it makes him say more. So this is like the snake eating its tail. So it's very, 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 very weird. To me, it's a weird flex here that somebody is trying to pull, like, I control how you move. You can't do X, Y, and Z without me. But at the same token, I don't think they're looking at the way the outside is looking at this, to where when it comes time for you to sign new artists, people gonna be like, bitch, I ain't coming over there with you. We see what you did, running up at this show, or it's alleged that you did this, it's alleged that you did that. I don't want to work on no company where they do no shit like that. So it's like to keep pushing this and pushing this and pushing this with finesse. It's actually giving finesse everything that he's asking for, because the streets are going to see who they are, what they're actually doing. And it's like, yeah, I had to pay the cost, but I'm going to charge it to the game. Any money I lost, I'm going to look at it like that was student loan. Like I just paid my admittance to the game. So now I know how this go. So you might as well let me go, because if I got to go down, I'm taking you with me. And I don't think that they thought that Finesse was going to take it this far, but Finesse was like, listen, you're putting me in a no win situation. If I got to be in a no win situation, ain't nobody going to win. So, yeah, Eight of Cups. Somebody's trying to force him to walk away from a situation and end something in the world. But like I said, it's like the snake eating its tail. It's like you're trying to force him to walk away from what he's saying and what he's doing, but he's doing what he's doing and he's saying what he's saying because of how y'all keep, putting him in these strange positions. So he's he's just focusing on staying out of trouble, his relationship, and getting to his money. Don't too much else really matter to him right now. Five of Pentacles, Ten of Wands. So he does recognize that they trying to break his pockets on purpose till he ends up in a situation that he can't maneuver. And all he wants is to just move forward. Just let me free, let me out. Page of Swords. So he's like, until you let me free, you let me out. I'm gonna make sure everybody see everything until you crumble the tower. So he like, I mean, hey, if I never drop another song under this, if I never do that, if I never, have any success on this label, that's fine. But neither will you. Let's see who fold first. Yeah, Ten of Cups, the Magician. So he's putting it out there that, yeah, y'all got over on me, y'all manifested off of me, y'all snuck me, y'all backdoored me. It's all good, but you gonna let me go. Yeah, High Priestess. Y'all, he's got some higher level secrets that nobody is expecting him to talk about, things that are expected to be, the kind of thing where you don't open your mouth, you don't say anything. And it's like a lot of people feel some type of way. They just haven't addressed it. They don't like how he's being treated. But y'all, I'm telling you, it's like there's a dawn of a new day. Somebody's going to kick it off, and people are going to go off into telling their stories against this family. And once they do, it's not going to stop. Five of Wands. This talks about, fighting for opportunities. Two of Wands at the bottom of the deck. So he's like, y'all making me fight even harder to get ahead, but then you want to stop me from getting ahead. Eight of Pentacles. Yeah, you want to stop him from getting ahead because Two of Swords to the Eight of Pentacles is like you're trying to block me from working and in my career. Nine of Pentacles is like he just want to be independent. And the Ace of Swords is like you gonna force my hand, but I'm gonna tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth on you. So I don't know what the hell finesse got on these people, but he's got some stuff on them that the public definitely does not know that would be detrimental. And it would only be Junior's fault if this comes into fruition. Well, no, I take that back. Senior, you raised this individual. We'll say that you raised this individual. So it all comes back to you. This is your fault because you put your son out here thinking that there were no consequences to him being out here doing the most. So now all the consequences are showing up, and y'all never thought that y'all day would come that you would have to pay for some of this stuff. Surprise, surprise. So it does look like they stopping finesse from working on purpose. Okay, let's see. Sauce Walker crashes out on Drake over his baby mama. So Drake is the only rapper I've ever known to never bust a grape but have beef damn near every year over females. And not just females, but it's always somebody else's girl. Now, at the end of the day, if the females mess up and they get to choosing and they do something, you gotta hold their feet to the fire. It's like you can't blame Drake for all of this because y'all definitely ain't picking solid females. Because solid females, they're not about to let themselves get passed around like this. Of course, groupies will do that because that's their lifestyle. So-called bad bitches. They'll do whatever if they think the bag is bigger, the opportunity is bigger. So, if you're going to actually make somebody your girl, make somebody your wifey, she's got to have those qualities. And part of those qualities is not being so damn friendly with your constituents, the people that you work with, the people that you know. Like, how are they getting this comfortable where all of y'all girls are sneaking off with Drake, allegedly? And Drake, child, you're going to have to fall back from messing with so many people's girls because unfortunately, people will take you out for their little piece of meat, whether they like that person or not. So let me pull a deck, y'all, to see what the energy is with Sauce Walker and Drake, because Sauce Walker looked like he was going like ones off the deep end, and he was really, 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 talking about harming Drake because Drake has been spending all types of money on his baby mama and bragging on it in the music. Luxury cars and I guess penthouse apartments. I mean, guess you can't be mad at Drake. He's a good trick whenever he decides to look out for you. So I mean, it is what it is. Just makes me wonder, would Sauce have been as mad if baby mama messed with a guy that wasn't that much more successful than him? Is that the real reason why it hit you the way that it did? Because it's like, damn, she was able to pull a Drake. Like, this ain't one of these dudes around here that I can stun on because I'm that dude in this region. Like, I do feel like it was, you know, part of his ego was hurt with that as well, because it's like, damn, she pulling a guy on this level, financially, and you know, clout wise, Drake is far above him, far above him. So let's see this energy, y'all, with Sauce Walker threatening Drake. And Sauce Walker just seemed to get into it with all the people that's attached to the Prince family. Like, you just had this situation with Honeycomb Brazy, and then you got this situation. It's just weird. It's real weird. You said, isn't Sauce a pimp? I believe he had traffic charges. That I would not know. I definitely would not know. But if that is true, that makes this that much more pitiful, because if you keeping it player, you keeping it pimping, and child, you shouldn't have been out here in the middle of the street mad at your baby mama getting the most out of life. Isn't that what you should be expecting her to do? If you got that mindset, shouldn't you want her to go for the bigger bag if that's what you do? Like, you counterproductive if that's how you live your life. If that's what you do, you should be giving baby mama, that whole, you should be giving her the high five, like, hey, score one for the team, keep it player, right? I would think if you got that player mindset, you would have said, hey, play your part, get that bag, make them pay for our junior to go to college, get all you can get out of them. It's like, usually that's what that mindset is going to tell you. So how in the world are you supposed to have that mindset, and then you blowing up over your baby mama coming up on a trick, allegedly? You should be used to tricks. That should be your language. That should be like, oh, she hit the jackpot. Now you get over there and you make up with her and you make her go get his money and bring it back to you. Ain't that what peas do? So I'm confused. I think Drake knew what role he was playing. I think Sauce might forgot what role he was playing. Show me Sauce Walker. Oh, he definitely was on go. He definitely was on go. The Chariot, the King of Pentacles. He's very territorial. What he considers is to be his. And remember, I said I already was channeling it. It was a situation with where it's like it's his ego, because this other man has more financially, and he has more when it comes to, his whole entire infrastructure of how his career is built, him being a part of the ground floor of, when you do a top 10 list for hip hop, he's going to always be that guy. So yes, it was like ego was definitely a big factor here. Said he fell in love with the product. Ooh, have mercy. Ten of Swords. So he sees this as the ultimate betrayal, especially when it's like Drake started talking about it. So I feel like he feels, allegedly, that when Drake started to pop it in his music, when he started to talk about it, that was the epic betrayal. Like, you're not gonna just throw that in my face. You're not gonna just do the most. Said also Drake had bought her a Maybach, and he destroyed it because he was jealous. Child, he wouldn't have got the keys to my Maybach. He did no, don't you even breathe on it. Your breath could bring down the value of my vehicle. Why would you let him drive this vehicle and tear it up because he couldn't give you that? You're supposed to pull off and give that presidential wave to him because he can't get in your vehicle. A child, the slow and the simple as the world turns. So you got the strength card. He can be very overbearing, and she just goes through this situation with him, excuse me, over and over again. So he could be hard to deal with when it comes to being in a relationship with him because he's a controlling figure. Said no driving, he just tore it up. Child, no, no, ma'am. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. You willing to catch a case and for what? All for what? You ain't gonna marry the chick or do right by her, so it really don't matter. Damn it, I just said it. You ain't gonna marry the chick, four of wands in reverse, and you be damned if she makes a name for herself and she been seen. So y'all, he don't take this relationship serious like that with this woman. He's not gonna marry her. It's like he's a toxic individual. He loves to have control, allegedly for entertainment purposes only. He likes to be the one that's considered, Big Daddy, the alpha. He wants to be the one that runs everything, and her getting with Drake literally destroys his internal monologue. 8 of Cups and the Sun. So it's like this feels like when Drake walked away from her, he decided to shine a light on the topic, Five of Swords, through his music. And this is what, sent Sauce over the top because no matter what, he he feels like he assumed ownership of this female, and also he doesn't like to feel like you trying to, get one over on him, or you trying to shine on him or anything like that. So who would have thought I'd have seen somebody more tender than Drake? I'm confused. I'm so confused. Like, child, what? Listen, I ain't mad at her. She must do what she do, and she do it well. Cause what is this? All of these dudes out here fighting over the cookies. What in the world is going on? The Emperor, Page of Cups. So it's weird because it's like it feels like Drake is the one who decided to step away from her because of the energy with her and her baby daddy. But it seems like the emperor energy in this situation was Drake. Drake was, that's what it was, y'all. It feels like Sauce Walker feels like Drake was trying to sun him through taking over his family. Like, my child don't need a stepdaddy. You ain't gonna come over here with that bullshit. It's like you ain't gonna come over here with that bullshit and try to, you know, play daddy over here with my family. My son don't need another daddy. She anything she need, I take care of it. I know the type of shit you be on. You ain't about to come over here and pretty much turn my baby mama into a cum rag, and then here it is now she an embarrassment, and I gotta hear this all the time. It Yeah. This is pitiful. And it's pitiful because he don't even care about the girl like that. That's what makes it so bad. He don't want to marry the girl. He feels very territorial. He's one of those type of people that just, once you mad, you always mad. I'm gonna always have control. And this literally was like, oh no, you got with who? Not on my watch. The moon. There's still more that hasn't been said. The lovers. And it's like the other shoe still hasn't dropped yet. Show me where this is going to go. Ten of Wands in the Tower. Sauce really got himself in a messed up position because it's like this is a situation he can't get out of, and this could destroy everything that he ever built because like you're literally making a terroristic threat. So it's like streetwise, this is not a good look for him, and legally, this is not a good look for him because Jay Prince Sr. is not going to allow him to keep threatening people that have mob tie or rap a lot affiliations, whether they still work with them or not. It's more about the public persona. Yeah, he's got issues right now. He could be facing legal problems with his baby mama as well. So I don't know what all he's done to the baby mama, but child, you go to court, you're gonna lose. Leave this woman alone and let her live her life. So even without Drake, it still looked like he got legal problems with the baby mama. Yep. He needs to mind his manners because he can go to jail. And it's like here it is. You reap what you sow. So So he can be very Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And now it's like he's worried about how things are going to play out because he got caught up in his toxicity. Now, I'm not saying that he's taking accountability because it's the Ten of Swords to the Devil, which is where he feels betrayed. So if anything, he's not mad at himself for saying what he said. He's mad at his baby mom for exposing what he said, if that makes sense. Yeah. Justice, Two of Pentacles. Yeah, he took a gamble and it's a lot going on with this situation that could end up turning into a case. So he may have ruined his future business opportunities off of this because there's some of the things that he's working with that he may not be able to do if he catches a case out of this. So Six of Swords talks about somebody moving on from a toxic, chaotic situation, going in a different direction, and it just seems like she moved on and she tried to leave him alone. And he got in his feelings when he realized who she was connected to. So it seemed like he was toxic towards this woman regardless. Yeah, Two of Pentacles, Ace of Cups. So it feels like he always, was cheating, always was out here doing him, Knight of Wands. Um, and she got tired of waiting for love in this situation and was just like, okay, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. You out here doing what you do, I'm gonna go do me. Only thing is, child, when she did it better. Whoo! Ace of Wands, Queen of Wands. So he's very hung up in the idea of who's currently smashing her and yeah, he don't want her to be touched by nobody else, child. She is his property whether he like her or not. It's like, if I don't approve of him, you ain't gonna be with him. You say what you want to say. I run this. It's Five of Cups. Yeah, he didn't see this coming, but it's like it's bringing plenty of shame and humiliation since the message got out, and it's making it hard for him now. Ten of Wands. Yeah, it's like he's at this point. It's like, okay, well, I might as well just bring this situation to rest because I don't want it to affect my money. I don't want to be ostracized and it make it hard for me to work. So yeah, show me why he could possibly be going to court, because this is going to close a final circle or cycle with him, and it's going to really cost him when it's all said and done. And I feel like something is going on with his money, and this is going to be exposed due to whatever legal issues he has or whatever it is that he has going on. Like, you're going to find out that he has money issues as well. Even though he has businesses, there's something going on with the money. So, yeah, Sauce Walker, he's going to have problems with the law and in the street, like this year and next year. So he may have to really, really consider, figuring out a better way to move and to kind of fall back on this street stuff, because he's putting himself in between a rock and a hard place when it comes to being able to move around effectively without, catching a case or making a name for himself where he messes up everything that he built. So, Blueberry Girl, I don't do those kinds of readings here, honey. You have to message me or email me at angelkissestheoracle@gmail.com to get a reading. We don't do love readings here on this channel. You want that? You got to contact me and I'll do a reading for you. Excuse me, I got to close my blinds. I need nobody walking by being nosy. So, child, now we got the mob tie stuff out the way. Most of the Houston stuff. Now, this one right here, Stefan Diggs, child, listen, he gets caught by paparazzi, right? And I believe it was TMZ. And they asked him if him and Cardi were back together, if they were in a relationship. And child, this fool said, you gotta ask her. Why can't he just answer a straight damn question? Why can't he just answer a straight damn question? You gotta ask her. So whatever she say, I'm on whatever she on. I don't know if we together. You gotta ask her. Child, the shade in that alone had me tickled because you, she gave you a narrative, so she got to stick to it. Whatever she told you is what it is. You have never heard him say that with any of the women that he has dealt with. He ain't said that with best friend forever Priesky. He didn't say that with KJ. Nobody. Get the Cardi. Are y'all together? Lord, are y'all together? You gotta ask her. Now, Fee, I would be surprised if it was staged because I did tell y'all a long time ago that I felt that Stefan was going to put Cardi in a position to where he was going to control the narrative in the media. Don't be surprised if he puts her in a position to where she looks questionable in the media, because that's his way of securing himself in, future situations. If she appears to be the one that's volatile, if she appears to be the one that's difficult, it will be of help to him. Not only with that, he can't afford any more situations where people can question, his energy when it comes to people's safety around him. So he's got to make sure that from here on out, if anything comes out, if anything happens to slide out, he has a better hand on it, control on it in some type of way, because he may allegedly be a part of how we get this information. So let me see something. Excuse me, so we're gonna go with what's the T, and we're gonna go with another oracle, and let's see why he's being, you know, um, elusive with his answer. Why he's giving us this gray area, more so the media, so to speak. Y'all bottom of the deck legal issues. So he's playing the PR game for the long haul. I can tell you that. Show me why he said what he said to the press. Was this contrived? Was this orchestrated? Why did he say this? Threatening, intimidating, threat, bothered, creeping. Okay. So that right there says a lot. And when I'm asking why did he give that answer, y'all, he's going to build a narrative to where we're going to start questioning Cardi's alleged mental health. He's going to put her in a position to where she looks and feels unstable, allegedly and for entertainment purposes only. Love on the brain, dreaming, fantasizing, daydreaming, nostalgic, and reflecting. Okay. So he feels like she uses the relationship as a way to threaten him, threaten his life, his way of life, rather, allegedly. Creativity steals your ideas, copies your work, duplicates, feeds off of you. Scarcity tactic. So, yeah, this is interesting because he feels this way allegedly about her, when it comes to how she does things. But it gives me the idea of he's going to pull a her on her. So if she has a habit of collecting information on people or recording people or misrepresenting situations to get what she needs out of the situation to come out on top, he's going to give her energy back through the way that he conducts himself. So it's like this is like the gaslighter Olympics. But it's literally the tactics that she uses on other people just being used on her in a more um, precise way. Into you, good chemistry, great vibes, positive legal issues. And then this is what I'm talking about. He can't afford to have any more problems because he has legal issues. So it's like, I'm on whatever you on. Oh, we together? Okay, she say we together, because he's looking at how he's going to look with future issues with the court. And it's like he's just worried about pushing through whatever he has going on now, but he's prepared himself to, come out fighting and to win. It's like he sees her game for the long haul, and he's not willing to play on her program. He's not willing to go the way she wants him to go, giving money, grudge holder. So he feels like, she may give money or buy gifts, but it's like chess pieces in some kind of way, because it's like you'll do this and you'll still, carry that animosity or whatnot, or you'll do it so that you can kind of like move around in an equation in a way that you possibly wouldn't be able to make it in the room. So I'll give you an example. It's like when she bought his mom that I think it was a Chloe bag for, was it Mother's Day or whatnot? It's like he looks at her buying gifts as being strategic. So he definitely looks at her as everything you do comes at an angle. I don't trust your angles, your analytics for why you do things. Yeah, ain't shit and unfazed. So she can't change him. She can't manipulate him. She can't get him to do anything she wants him to do, because he's comfortable in his energy and he's going to do him. He's going to be who he wants to be, and she gonna just have to deal with it, or that's that. So he's definitely not getting with her program at all, and she is having a really really hard rocky time adjusting to his. It's almost like she thought that she would be that chick in his life already, but it's like every other week she finds out she's still fighting for her place, allegedly. But I mean, it's like he does what he does with her because he doesn't trust her. Digging for dirt, looking for dirt on you, and vice versa. And this is both of them right now, because it's like he knows that, this is something that she does. She collects information on people, and then she, stockpiles it for, the day that she needs it. So he's decided that, okay, well, it was good for the goose is good for the gander. I'm gonna gather information as well. I'm going to be pivotal as well. And then here it is crying over you, sad, hurt, upset, etc. Notice this is the woman. He's never in this energy over her. She can come and go as she pleases, because it's like you cool people, but I don't love you like that. Me and you was never on that level. And I don't think it's easy for her to accept that either. She came into this thinking that she had the upper hand, and she's finding out that, hey, the best you can do is just play your role. Yeah, divination abuser, unfazed. So he may know about her spiritual practices for sure, and he's taking time to learn more about them, learn more about what it is that she's into. Drama starter and romantic love affair. So he just looks at anytime he deal with her, it's always gonna be some bullshit. She's always going to bring, you know, um, issues for him, because let's get it straight. I'm not saying that he's not dramatic and he's not doing all type of stuff he ain't got no business doing. What I'm stating is, it wasn't until this relationship that we, the public, were able to see the drama in his personal life and what he does and what he has going on. she shined a light on all these things. So it's like for him, this makes her the negative addition to his life because you had to know him personally. You had to be in certain circles. You had to be in, certain parts of the echelon to get this information. His business was basically his business. It wasn't like publicly traded like the Nasdaq and the S&P until recently. So it's like, when you see divination abuser to drama queen, it's like he she's not going to be able to control him the way that she may have been able to control others. And it's because his energy trumps hers, it's stronger than hers. And it frustrates her because she can't bend him, she can't force him to do anything that he doesn't want to do. You said he got the nerve with 10 baby mamas, but here's the thing: creeping. Let's not forget she's still a married woman. Creeping. Dirty offer, because she hadn't left her marriage when she got with this man, and she's still married with this man. So really, when it comes down to it, is he really wrong to go out here and do his thing and to, be Johnny Appleseed and spread himself all around each county that he goes to, if he's single and the person who's trying to be with him is legally somebody else's? Like, why would he put all his eggs in one basket with someone that's married? Like, he's a single man with money. He can pretty much do what he wants to do. So, I think people forget that in this equation that they've been dealing with each other how long, and she's still not divorced. His child with her is still legally not his child with her because she's married. So it's a lot of factors here that, either side, it don't look too good. But on his side, I could see him not taking it serious because no matter what, you belong to somebody else. So we got wolf in sheep's clothing and too busy winning. So it's like he wants to expose her as the wolf in sheep's clothing. Oh, she comes out really, really nice to y'all. Y'all love her, this, that, and the other, but y'all don't see the other side of her. Y'all just focus on her accomplishments. Stalker. Moving on. So, y'all, he sees her someone that can be obsessive, a stalker even. And remember the coffee shop. She popped up on him at the coffee shop, which does look obsessed and stalkerish. And how did she find out he was there? And what's really going on with them? Like, we're not seeing him pop out anywhere trying to figure out where she is or trying to catch up to her with another man. He's building the platform, allegedly for entertainment purposes only, where it appears that she's unhinged. It appears that, she's abusive. She's a stalker. He's trying to be, a good co parent, but she's making it impossible. He's building the narrative, allegedly, that's going to topple Cardi if she's not careful, because this looks like he's making her look very unbalanced, and it's going to question her sanity down the line. So for her, I think it would be best to just fall back and stay away from him, focus on work. Yeah, travel and screenshots. So it's like so into you and travel, and it's like she goes out of her way to go travel to go see him, to go there, and then you got getting screenshots and evidence. So y'all, it's weird because it's like a weird game of espionage between the both of them. Because it's like she'll pop up on him because of screenshots and evidence that she feels that she has, or she'll pop up on him to get evidence of what he's doing. But giving money is the next role, which is kind of weird because it's like she's giving more to him than he's giving to her. With John Stackhouse High Meemaw. I'm the sexiest Meemaw you ever did see. Yeah, so it looks like she's always giving to him, scarcity tactic, and moving on. So he doesn't care about, money and whatever gifts that she gives. He's he's over it. He don't want nothing from her. Um, and it's like she may try to lavish him with gifts to make it appear like, she's the better choice out of whoever else he's dealing with. But child, that ain't helping because he looks at you in a way to where it's like you ain't no better than them or you're not above them. He definitely reduces her and makes sure that she knows she's no better than or any different than anybody else he deals with. Karmic friends, can't fully trust them. Tension, secret competition. Keep your friends close and your enemies closer. So he's been looking at the perspective between the both of them, um, and all the different moving pieces in his life since she's been around him. And I will say this, it's making him uh, move different. I didn't say do different, move different. He's more mindful of how he appears in the public. So he's going to be on it when it comes to PR, making sure that he always appears, polished when it comes to how he presents himself in the press. But he's definitely going to keep pushing her buttons and putting her in positions to where we can see the end result of her buttons pushed, if that makes sense. Yeah, caught a case, sexual infection, sexual disease, rash. I don't know about anybody catching anything like this, but I do think that there's a lot of digging in each other's past, in each other's business, into, past relationships. So she's thinking she got all the tea on him and she just don't know, honey, this is a whole different animal that you're dealing with. And here it is, hooked under divination abuse. So I can't say what her religious practices are, that's for her to discuss. But it looks like she's going really, really hard on trying to fix a narrative or fix energy through her religious practices. And it's turning on her because bad reputation and drama queen. It looks like her spirit team is not supporting her in this type of work. They're actually going to um, put her in the energy of being exposed to humble her because she's not moving the way that they see fit for her to move. Her spirit guides want her to move on from this situation and just choose to do better for herself. But it's like she keeps holding on, and this is what puts her in the bad situation. So to the public, it's like too busy winning, shine. She definitely, is out here marketing herself to the public. We're seeing her a lot with a lot of different advertisements we wouldn't even expect her to be doing. And it's products that she's doing advertisements for to where you would think that her name is too big to be attached to these projects, but you got clout hungry and unfazed. So he's like, she wants all the attention. this is the energy that I get with him. She wants all the attention, and that falls on top of a wolf in sheep's clothing. So he's going to make sure that people know she's not how she appears to be, that she's not what people thinks she really is. And he's like, she's very attention hungry. She does everything for the eye of the internet or approval from the internet. Romantic affair, sex fix, secret lover, talking shit, y'all. The more she does to him, I feel like the more it's going to open him up to expose her. So she's got to really think about that, because it seems like he's been given permission to, be her karma into you, travel and running. So no facts. So this is why she's got to be careful, because it's like she gets all in her feelings, and she's not really even sure half of the time when she goes off. And here's the thing, y'all. It's Stefan. You don't need much evidence. Like, he is the walking evidence. But, she doesn't always have, you know, proper cause. And he's gonna, how do I say this? It's like he's gonna mind fuck her to the point to where it's like he's gonna create equations allegedly to where it looks like he was doing something and he wasn't doing something. But here it is, he's doing something because he's always doing something. But he's putting you in curated situations that he controls allegedly. Fake accounts in their head. So, yeah, I feel like both of them have burner accounts, fake accounts in some type of way. I feel like they both have burner accounts. And he says the things he really wants to say on his burner account, but she has burner accounts to see what's going on with him. And I wouldn't be surprised if she tried to flirt with him through a burner account to see if he'll take the bait. It's very, very toxic. Okay. And it's like when things don't work out, like, I don't think she, looks at him as someone that's highly intelligent, but he's a game player because he's petty. So it's like, he may not start the game, but he'll play along with it because it builds his ego. So here it is, she's thinking she's got the upper hand. Okay. And she's being cunning, and the whole time he's like 10 miles ahead of her, waiting for her to catch up. And as soon as she gets close, he peels off on her and leaves her to come up with another plan, another situation. And it's taxing, y'all. It's so taxing. But he's way better at this than she is. Yeah, cock blocking, fake friends, ain't shit. And it's, y'all, listen, she may have, introduced him to people in the past, like, yeah, this is my new man, this, that, and the other. It's like she ain't trying to introduce him to no more friends. She ain't trying to introduce him to no more friends. Can't trust him around none of the friends, because, don't leave your friends around me. True player for real. Ask my baby daddy for real. Yeah, jackpot. Reflecting. So, like I said, there's digging on both sides to see what both sides can get off of each other. But he's better at this game of espionage than she is. And he's got information that she don't even know he got, because I don't know what type of sexual demon is on him, but it vibrates. And when it vibrates, it's like all common sense leaves the female and some of the male population when he's around, and they do his bidding. Now you got bad habits here, hooked, divination abuser. Ooh, child. When he done with you, you ain't gonna be able to say nothing about Nikki. I promise you that. And as the spirit guys keep saying, move on. They're advising her to move on and to just let this situation be. Because if she doesn't, the further she goes with the situation, the more she push, the harder she goes in with the situation, the worse it's going to be for her, and the worse this the exposure on the back end is going to be when she starts to get exposed for things that may or may not be going on in her personal life, in her household. Whew. I don't like that combination at all. Divination abuser, hooked, and the bad habits card, which talks about addictions, toxicity, and deep rugs. Okay. Um, that could even go off into her doing spiritual work when she's upset and possibly under the influence, which her spirit team is also advising her to stay away from because they don't want her to get herself involved in things that could bring her energy that they won't remove. So they're warning her to just move on, take the lesson out this situation, and call it. You got hunted memories, flashback, trauma, side effects. So this is why the ego, like he really is breaking down her ego. Says hurt ego getting in the way, relationship, etc. Now, don't get me wrong, both of them are full of ego, but like I said, he's better at this dysfunctional game than she is. And he doesn't need the reassurance that she does. Like with her, it feels like she needs approval. She needs to matter. He don't give a fuck. You approve her if you don't. He's still gonna do what the hell he gonna do. And he knows that she has this thing for approval. So he uses it against her. Broke ass and unfazed. So yeah, he's like you're out here talking about too busy winning, but how are you too busy winning if it's not making you more money? So yeah, he's hitting her, in the guts. He's asking her real questions that really piss her off, that really trigger her. So who child. So I'm leaning towards like the conversation with them behind the scenes versus how he presents himself before the public is totally different. Like the way he talks to her behind the scenes, y'all will probably feel bad for her because he talks down to her. But it's sad because it's almost like she's used to it. Wasting time, girl fights. So yeah, he's totally over it with her and the jealousy and threatening to fight the other females. And if you supposed to be working, focus on hustling. I thought you said you were getting to the money. So you got wasting time, girl fight, clout hungry, sheep and was it wolf in sheep's clothing and love on the brain. He wants everybody to see that she's not what she appears to be, or she's not what they think she is. So she's got to be very careful because he's going to keep curating and orchestrating, allegedly, situations that are going to show her unhinged and unraveled, bankrupt, moving on. And this feels like this is a problem here. But whose money is bankrupt? Because um, this almost seems like this could be a point of contention as well, where somebody's bills are starting to pile up, money is starting to get real um, thin around the edges. cyberbully, damn, ignore and running. So he's trying to get away from her. He's separating his energy with her, but it's like he has to be very mindful of how he appears and what he says in the public because he's trying to rebuild his brand. And he did a lot better when we didn't know the inner workings of his personal life. Now his personal life has been trash for a long time. Let's not water that down. The difference is we didn't know the details, the inner working of his personal life until the last year. Says she is chasing him, and that is not what men like. Not grown ass men, little boys like to be chased. Yeah, boss daddy. And see, fake smile, boss daddy. So yeah, he's willing to do whatever he has to do to make sure he looks good PR wise to the public. Even if he has to fake like everything is cool. Uh oh, wait a minute. Yep, same shit, different day. So she's gonna keep finding out about him dealing with females that she knows, photo proof and evidence. Y'all, he don't care what she knows because he don't want to be bothered with her. And this is what she's got to understand. You can't make a man do right. You can't make a man be there for you. Either he wants to be there for you, he wants to do right by you, or he just want to smash and pass. It is what it is. Um, it's like she's understanding now that she took a fleeting moment and stretched it out too long, but her pride is affected. Looking you up and groupies. So, I mean, she knows the man gets groupies, okay? But it's like she could be consumed with always knowing what's going on with him or keeping up with him, following him. Like this has become an obsession for her, an addiction for her, and it's time for her to let this go. Her spirit guides are warning her that she's putting herself in a very dark, toxic place by trying to force something that'll never be, all in their head, overthinking, stress, over analyzing. Yeah, she does this to herself while he ignores her. Anytime he ignores her, it puts her in her head and it's like, oh my God, why is he acting like this? Why is he doing this to me? And he does it on purpose just to shift the energy so that he always has control. Um, but she's got to heal and grow up so that she can understand that because he definitely dominates the energy between the both of them. Always partying and offer. So, child, he's it's so weird because it's like he's taking the very things that brought them together and using them against her now. Like you're a mom, when are you gonna finally, be at home with the children? You always partying, you always out here accepting the offer to turn up. But here's the funny part of it, the irony of it. He's always accepting an offer and he's always out here having a good time. But this is the thing, when somebody doesn't want you like that, they're not into you like that, they're going to find any little thing, I don't care if it's this small, to turn on you and make it to where it's like, look, this ain't gonna work. Me and you ain't gonna do this. Don't get your hopes up. And literally, the whole entire situation is it literally on a dime, just and he takes her through these shifts, and it's like she's not mentally prepared. And the crazy thing is, it's like everything that she's done to other people, he gives it back to her times 10, but he's more advanced in her in his thinking process. So he doesn't go off the handle in ways that she does. Like his, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde energy is safe for behind the scenes, at home, in private, where nobody sees him. You have to know him to know what's going on. For entertainment purposes, everything I'm saying is alleged. So he's very poised publicly. He's never going to lose his cool publicly because he has too much on the line. He doesn't want to go to jail. He doesn't want to catch another case. But he is going to put her in position to catch cases, to be evaluated, for people to look at her and wonder about, her mental health, or if she's tired, and maybe, it could be postpartum. Maybe she hasn't had enough rest, since she's coming off this concert series. People are going to have all these speculations about her, but it feels very, very curated from his side. But this is his way of freeing himself because she won't take no for an answer. Allegedly, allegedly, allegedly. And he's looking at her more so now as a deficit than a win. It feels like she needs to hold on to him now. And something about him, when you get needy and, you put too much on him, he literally switches up on a pivot. And it's weird because he's the type that likes his women to need him. He likes to provide for his women, but you have to be the woman he likes. He's not a big spender for just anybody. Not just anybody can get him to spend money. He's not that type. You looking for a guy to buy you all these expensive bags and things like that, he gonna go and buy that bag and carry it himself. He's not that guy that really wants to be out here doing stuff like that, tricking off on females. So when you see him spending money on a female, it's got to be someone that he's really messing with. So when he buys her stuff, he always makes sure that he does it in a PR way, to where we can see, we can know about it, but it's never equal to what she's done for him. So let's say she bought him, a Richard Millie. He'd give her a watch, but it'll be for a fraction of the cost of what she spent on his watch. Like his watch might be 25,000, which ain't no cheap watch, right? But she might have dropped 250, 350,000. So his watch is literally like the taxes on the watch that she bought. So he'll give her stuff, but it ain't gonna never be in the lane in which she does publicly. Cause he like, I ain't about to be a fool with my money. I got other things to blow my money on, and it's really not you. Wants you back and force her. So he feels like she's forcing her way in, allegedly, to get back with him because she may be having some financial issues, allegedly. And let's say he's not thinking that, but let's say that's a interesting narrative. Yeah, he could have a whole storyboard of narratives, allegedly, for entertainment purposes only, where if he wants to leak stories, like he's already got them ready to go. And it's also that you can judge her character and look at her differently, because she, it's he's one of those types, like, I gave you chance after chance to chill, to get with the program, or to leave. I ain't really rocking with you like that. I'm not gonna change my life or change what I'm doing. Y- You know, and it's messed up, but I see his point, because it's like, you're still married, you're still over here doing you, and I don't feel that a lot of what you do is genuine. He's big on feeling like you're genuine. No matter how toxic his lifestyle is, he honors people that feel genuine. And this is definitely toxic as hell. Yeah, move in silence, unfazed. And that's his biggest problem with her. She don't know how to close her mouth. She don't know how to keep things behind closed doors and keep people out their business. And that's like a huge downfall for him because he don't like people being in his business. Yeah, he's reflecting. It's like dealing with you is giving me a past reputation. You're costing me. Like this isn't worth it. The profit and loss is not worth it. So cyberbully, shine, and groupie. So damn, his outlook on her is totally not good. I don't see him purposely trying to disrespect her. I'll give him that. He's not purposely trying to disrespect her, but he does not look at her in the way that she wants him to by far. Um, damn, boss daddy, show me something with boss daddy. Yeah, he's rejected her. Played out. He don't even want nothing to do with her. Like this ain't even worth it. I'm straight on you. You know, whatever we got to do to coexist, let's do that. But yeah, he's the one I feel is turning down the energy. So everything about her inside out is fake. If it were anyone else, they would have been able to last or as long and get sympathy for unacceptable behavior. Interesting. Said I blame him also. You saw how that lady conducts herself on the internet and you still popped out with her. Interesting. That I mean that makes sense because as much as he likes his privacy and anonymity where you got to know him to know what's going on in his life, you would think, that would be a deal breaker for him because they didn't just meet. Um, they knew each other years prior. Like her husband used to hang with him back when they had their first child. So he should have known better to deal with her in this type of way because he knew about her long beforehand. So I give it to you on that. Yeah, he feels like he's got nothing but bad karma. Carlos, like he doesn't see himself moving forward in this situation. Hustling, he's trying to get back to work. Grudge holder, he's looking at her like, like you don't know how to let go, you don't know how to get over stuff. You know what it is what it is. I was who I was before you came along. Queen Rising stepping into power, praise coming up in the spotlight and kissing ass. So that says a lot right there. It's like she's more off into um her public standing and how people see her, how people view her. And she gets to a certain point to where she gets to kissing up to him so that, this could actually work out for her in the public eye because she's very, very big on, keeping up with what people say and how they think about her and how they feel. But grudge holder, fake flexing. So how are you getting mad when you know that the connection or the situation behind what's going on with y'all is not real? And that, remember I said it's a big thing with him and dealing with people who are genuine, genuine connections, genuine relationships. Even though his life is toxic, is it's the sewer, but even with that, it's like these people rock with me the long way. These people are really here because of X, Y, and Z. He's always felt like she's had an angle. Um, and it just seemed like they got caught up in a karmic cycle. Hey, hey, Millie the Mystic. I'm looking at the whole energy with Stefan Diggs talking to the media today, and they asked if him and Cardi was back together. And he said, "Go ask her." And it's like I wanted to see why he's asking, "Go ask her," but it's like he's using the media to play in her face and to win. So he's definitely gonna gaslight the hell out of her through the public, through social media. And it feels like what he's doing allegedly is making her crash out and then we chronicle it. So it's not that she doesn't have solid reasons to get upset, but it's like you know what it is. You're trying to make something into something it's not. You know what it is. And she can't get him to bend the narrative. She can't get him to be what she wants him to be. And it's like now he's like, what he's trying to do is allegedly for entertainment purposes only. He's trying to build a narrative to where, when he's done with her, it's like, oh, you dodged a bullet. Like it's so much going on with that situation. And it's like, okay, well, no facts. It's like she pop off all the time and she don't even have it right. She just thinks something and just go off the deep end. And he's gonna have people looking at her real sideways when it comes to, does she have postpartum? Is there an anxiety issue? It's gonna really make her look nutty if she's not careful about the way that she has rebuttals with him publicly. Yeah, fake flexing and thief. Child. And see, you got to be careful dealing with people like Stefan. He's very, very intelligent and he's going to, expose her in every possible way because it's like, she keeps trying to control the narrative with him and he won't be controlled. Yeah, he just wants to move on. Happiness hater. Um, so it definitely looks like he's the one that's rejecting her and he's the one that's unbothered, he's the one that's unbothered, but she wants us to seem like, or wants us to think that she's unbothered over him, but impersonate her at the bottom of the deck. Yeah, she's totally in her feels over this situation and how things are working out. Bad karma, happiness hater, kissing ass. So, like I said, he's better at playing this game than she is. And he's going to make sure that when it's all said and done that she's the one with the bad karma and he walks away somehow some way looking like the the decent guy. I can't say the good guy because child, good guy would be a hell of a stretch. Yeah, screenshots, dirty offers. So yeah, everything that Cardi allegedly does to other people, collecting information, keeping information for a later date to expose other people, it's like she met her match. Kissing ass, fake smiles, spiritual hater. So he doesn't see her as an authentic person at all. And this is giving me like, as soon as, lights, camera, action, you'll turn it up for the camera. And because she'll turn it up for the camera, he'll allow her to get the camera time because he uses it for himself. Yep. Grudge holder, impersonator, and dust it off. So it's like soon as they get over something, it's like she'll pop up and she'll either bring that situation back up or she'll be back in that same energy. And it's like, why are you going back to old shit? Why is it every time I look up, you bringing up old stuff? I thought we were over that. I thought we were done. So at this point, it don't even matter if I did the shit or not. Okay, you feel that way, then I did it. Now are you gonna leave me alone? So y'all, it's this is crazy. It's like he don't care what she know, how she know. Like, are you gonna finally leave me alone? Oh, you need more information, you need more situations. Okay, I'm going to curate possibly a situation to where you can get what you want and I can get what I want. Like you get the information that you think you want or the information that you think is true, and then you go and you clock out, like just literally just flash out, and I'm going to make sure that somebody is always available to chronicle it. So she really needs to get control of her temper and learn how to play the game, because he's playing chess all day long and it looked like she playing Uno's or Connect Four or something. I don't know what the hell she playing, but he's definitely someone that's mentally astute, and he's a strategist. Temper for days, but he's a strategist. He's someone that will definitely plan and put a situation together if he can help it for his better good. So yeah, I don't think she knows what she signed up for, but she's about to find out, because this man is literally the walking embodiment of all karma connected to all the men that she's dealt with. So those men may have never been able to pay her back, but this one man is going to pay her back for all of the men that she has somehow, some way taken advantage of. And it's messed up because it's going to play out in front of everybody. So I would suggest that, she finds a way to deal with her temper a lot better, so that he doesn't keep putting her in situations to where she gets exposed for, having temper tantrums, or moments out in public, because it's like every time she has a moment, it's definitely going to be used against her, and he knows how to set her off. He does. He knows exactly what it takes. He knows what buttons to push, and he also knows how to play his position, keep calm, you know just be mellow, be chill, be like water, just go with the flow. So if she out there losing it and she yelling, he's going to be quiet, because he knows the more that she's yelling, the more attention she draws to herself, and then she looks questionable. But the craziest part of it is that she gets even louder and even more upset with him being calm, because he's not giving her the type of energy that she wants. This is someone who's used to toxic exchanges. Like, we do all this arguing and then we go and we smash and we what's that Mila J song? That smoke, we and we break up. Like, we get high, we break up. It's like that type of energy. Like the what was once fun, like the party and the smashing and all of that. It's tiring. It's exhausting now. It's like, okay, it's run its course. You don't know how to be a party girl. You don't know how to be fun. You don't know how to keep the party moving. And I think that Cardi thought that eventually he wouldn't need the party anymore because he could do all of that with her, but you didn't change the program. So he wants her to look unhinged in the public eye. It feels like that. And that's why she needs to uh really handle her temper, because if she doesn't handle her temper, phone calls, all types of things are going to be used to expose her temper and what could look like mental health issues. And it's going to have people wondering, like, is it postpartum? Is it depression? Is it anxiety? And people are going to want to tell her, well, maybe you should take some time off. You should take a little time to yourself. But the thing is, right now, she can't. Said, laughing my ass off. Remember that call, that leak with her tripping about Ice Spice? Yes, which is crazy because it's like I'm seeing all these people who are trying to make Lotto the bad guy for not, you know, being friendly with Cardi after she apologized. For me, it's like people can apologize and not move forward with a person or a relationship. You can accept the apology and release that person and let them go. Not everybody is going to accept your apology and allow you to keep coming in their face and to keep playing with them and to keep having opportunities to be fake. Me personally, this is one of the one things that I agree with Lotto on, because if you're threatening to fight me and I don't even have anything to do with anything, I haven't done anything to you, you would have never apologized if that call didn't make it to the public. You said what you said, you were on what you were on, you felt how you felt. And the only reason why I personally feel like she apologized to Lotto is because she was dropping that album and she couldn't afford to have Lotto remove her features or to um for them to have beef and the album hadn't dropped yet. So it was like for business purposes, it felt right to apologize to Lotto. Um, but why isn't anyone holding Cardi accountable for threatening Meg? Why are y'all looking at, I'm seeing a lot of these so-called fans who are like, well, as long as Meg and Cardi are still good, I'm fine. And it's like, who told y'all they were fine? Like she threatened Meg in that very same phone call. She ain't apologized to Meg and offered to buy her a bag. I could see her, if you having an active back and forth with Ice Spice, I could see you not apologizing to her and her people. But what did Lotto or Meg have to do with what you were saying to them unless you really have smoke for those other two people? I believe she did. Like you and Meg, in my opinion, are the phoniest. Y'all popping out at each other's shows, but it's a lot of still water under that bridge. It's a lot of real interesting transactions with the both of them publicly that are literally, a hair away from breaking apart. So to me, it's like we're starting to see the desperation of female rap because people are too afraid to separate from each other. People are too afraid to, have public beefs because it's like, okay, well, we got to look at the politics of if I dish you and the politics and if I respond to you. And it's like, where's the real spirit of hip hop? If somebody calls you to the table, pop out. That's what hip hop is supposed to be. It's a sport. Y'all taking the sport out of hip hop. Said yes, very stale, dirty. Hudson River water under the bridge. Said Lotto didn't invite her or Meg to the baby shower. Child, that say a lot. She invited 21, his wife, and his other baby mama, and y'all still couldn't come. Ooh, mercy. Mercy. If that don't say something, if that don't say something, I mean, damn. Even the baby mama outside of the marriage got an invitation and y'all couldn't come. She didn't even allow you to come to the baby shower to bring her a new bag with some diapers in it. And I personally don't feel that Lotto needs to apologize for, feeling the way she feels. Because at the end of the day, how do you trust somebody that's just so comfortable with threatening your safety like that over the phone, talking about how they gonna put hands on you and what all they gonna do? Like what that girl do for you to be sitting up there calling her all out her name and talking about how she ain't gonna do nothing and how you gonna put hands on her? That means you never liked her. I mean, she was always a chess piece to you. She was always a pawn. So I ain't mad at Lotto for feeling how she feel. Um, and it's a lot of times that Miss Alyssa gets on my nerves. Okay, because when she just did that interview and got to talking about, oh, I ain't retiring, y'all, I was tripping, I was in my fields, I was going through postpartum. Alyssa, okay, sweetheart, I want you to understand something. Postpartum happens after you give birth to your child. You allegedly said that while you were still pregnant, that baby was not here yet. Please do not play with such energies like postpartum, because postpartum is a very dark, sad place that a lot of women find themselves in that they can't seem to get out of. Postpartum is a very, very debilitating thing for some people. Child, just say that you was on one and you was tripping. Don't put postpartum in there. You can't say that you were postpartum and your belly was still full of baby. Postpartum is literally after the baby is born. You cannot be prepartum. How you gonna sign up for postpartum before the baby is born? Like, girl, don't do that. Like, please don't do that. I would hate for you to actually go through postpartum and see what postpartum feels like so that you can know not to say that. Lord have mercy. Like, that ain't nothing to play with. Said, oh my God, she was taking the jab at Cardi when she said that. I don't know about her taking the jab at Cardi when she said that, because the only part that I heard is that um, she was talking about, she's no longer retiring. And she said that I was tripping, y'all. I was just having a moment. I was going through postpartum. That was the setup to how she said that. And it angered me the moment I heard it because, child, stop playing with that. You were still pregnant. You were not postpartum. And please don't speak that on your life. Said prepartum is going to be the new thing now. Allegedly, child. It's like just say you was on one and that's all it was. So my last one of the evening, Boosie Badass assault case. Child, Boosie Boosie go to jail about as regular as people do their maintenance on their damn vehicles. So it's like, he definitely just had, a big case where he could have went to the feds and everything that he has built would have been up in smoke. He got out of that case. Everything was everything. And it's like, okay, Boosie out here. He's rebuilding. He's, you know, doing more family content with his last baby. Cute little girl, too. And now he's out here working in these clubs and he's having issues in these clubs. And the issue this time is that there was a security guard where things went left with the security guard. And apparently, the security guard is a nuisance. He is a problem. He has a very long dark history, allegedly, of possibly being out in traffic with females and violence. So it's like, who hired him to do security and didn't do any background checks? That's one. And if, Boosie lawyer is worth a damn, that's something that he needs to put off into that case, that this is a very toxic, dangerous person that should not have been employed at this establishment due to his history. Like they should be flipping this on the bar where they sue the owners of the bar. Oh, thank you, honey lad. Many blessings to you. God give it back to her tenfold. So yeah, it's like, his lawyer needs to really focus on why is this establishment hiring this type of individual to do security, because with this person's history, he shouldn't be securing anything. Okay. But um how Boosie got caught up this time is it looks like he violated because there was a physical altercation where he hit the security guard with his hookah, and dude had to get stitches, I believe, to his nose or to his face. So, now the dude has an injury where he could try to sue Boosie and come up off of Boosie. But it's like, Boosie, how in the hell do you keep getting in these situations? So, y'all, without any further ado, let me pick a deck and we can go off into what's going on with Boosie Badass. I use one that feel like it's got French Creole inspiration to it. So we can pull in that Louisiana energy. Yeah, Mystic Masquerade Tarot. That's what we gonna do. So let's look at Boosie case and how this is gonna affect his life, because oh, you said the baby recognized my voice. Hi, honey. How are you? Let's look at this, because this is one of those things to where it's about to get very, very strange, because Boosie whole life could be teeter-tottering. It could be over right now. And it could be over in more ways than one. It's like if Boosie doesn't go to prison from this altercation, if he don't catch a case from this altercation and he's violated and you just escaped going to the feds, like you got all these situations back to back to back, people are going to not trust Boosie anymore. So it's going to be hard for him to be in the streets, to bend corners, to be out here working. If he does beat this case, he has to really, really beat this case in a very skillful way. And they need to focus on this man's history. Oh, he said, oh, hi. Oh, that's so cute. Show me Boosie. Show me Boosie. Show me Boosie. How's this energy around Boosie right now? So temperance, two of wands. So he definitely getting his prayers in, okay? And he's worried about trying to get a balance through a new beginning, due to his decisions or the decision that he had to make. I don't think Boosie 50. I don't think he that old. I do believe he definitely grown folks, but I don't think he that old. Page of Wands. So he's trying to figure out how to get this in a new direction, especially when it comes to business, being able to work in this business. And it feels like the club is trying to pivot everything on Bootsy. And this is why he's going to need to focus on this man's past, his criminal history, because they're going to try to bury Boosie and make this whole situation about Boosie, because this club does not want to be in hot water for bringing this man into the club. Because you got to understand, if the employees of the club don't know that this man has this kind of history, this opens a whole keg of nails, because now you've got all of these employees that feel unsafe working around this individual. You endangered us. If it's true that this man been out of traffic, he could have been at work picking people like flowers. Like, it's a lot going on right now for the club. Queen of Cups. So Boosie, he's working hard to, use his intuition because he feels like he's been set up, he's been portrayed. It's like he thinks that somebody orchestrated this in some kind of way, allegedly. Yeah, he said the club definitely used Boosie history against him. King of Wands, Five of Cups. So it's a huge shift the blame game because um, the King of Wands talks about action and moving swiftly may not be the best idea, but moving swiftly and it's bringing lots of shame. Five of Cups said, wait, they're saying Boosie was playing in traffic. No, they're talking about the security guard. Now, it's alleged that the security guard that worked at the club has a very, very dark history where he may have possibly allegedly been playing in traffic with females. And it looks like the type of history that the guard from the nightclub has, he shouldn't have even been allowed to do security at this club if they had checked out his history. So that's why I said that Boosie's lawyer needs to focus on this other guy's past because if they focus on that other guy's past, they have a very good chance of being able to prove that Boosie was in danger. This person is a very dangerous individual, and Boosie had to do what he had to do to protect himself. It's a lot easier to prove a case that way if they go into the past and they look at this man's past because it looks like this man has a very aggressive history and he has a history of things that Boosie don't have a history for. 10 of cups and 3 of cups. So it's like right now, Boosie trying to just enjoy the time that he got left with his family until he can figure out what's going on, how everything is going to be affected. He's definitely worried about how his actions could be affecting his family. 9 of Swords. So he's got sleepless nights right now, a lot of anxiety. He's trying to hold it together. I see this being something that can affect his health as well. So he has to be careful. He needs to get some sleep because he's not in the best of health. Like he's doing better than he's done in a long time, but he needs to keep his health as elevated as he possibly can. Sleep deprivation will definitely be a problem for him. King of Pentacles, he thinks about how he, is a person that is a provider, a caretaker, a father, excuse me, and how this is going to affect his opportunities. Like he has to be out here to work. He's got to be able to hustle to make his money to take care of his family. He likes being the head of the family, the paternal figure, but he's thinking about how the family is going to shift if he's not here. Queen of Pentacles, Empress. So he's possibly been thinking about marrying his current girl, his baby mama. Like he saw himself, married with her, them having a really good life together. And it's like he feels like, life is doing a real cruel joke on him right now because it's like now that he wants to change and he wants to be the family man and he wants to focus on being married and being the good guy, he's catching all of this karma, he's catching all these strays. He really does feel like he's been set up. 4 of Cups, 10 of Swords. So it seems like whatever popped off between him and the security guard or him in this situation is because he refused some kind of offer and somebody saw it as betrayal or disrespect. This security guard gives me a very, very menacing vibe. Someone who doesn't take authority too well. Someone said it's another guy that hit the man with the bottle. Oh, interesting. So now it makes sense why Boosie feel like he got lined up, because I'm looking at how he got set up, and he's just trying to get balanced through a new beginning to prove himself. He's worried about how all of this is going to affect his family, but it keeps talking about he been betrayed. Ten of Swords, channeling the song he got, like, dear Lord, I've been betrayed. Like, yeah, they set him up in this equation. He been betrayed. This is like the third time I'm seeing it. Hasn't hit the table yet. Eight of Cups. So it's like, he may have tried to separate himself from this person, or, had the mindset that he was going to leave because he wanted to get balanced through a new beginning, like somebody rushing over talking to him. Yeah, I mean, I really feel like somebody ran a play on Boosie. Eight of Pentacles. He's going to have to find a new way to work. He's going to have to transition out of doing club dates because it's starting to get too dangerous for him. Um, this is how he makes the majority of his money. But it's time for him to go digital, put more of his influence on the internet, and to, perform in maybe larger venues with less personal interaction, because it's the close interaction of the nightclubs and doing these club dates that is putting him in harm's way. You say, yes, that last video I saw of him, he looked 50, but he's only 43. Wow, he's been sick multiple times though. Yeah, Boosie has fought off cancer. I want to say he fought off cancer multiple times. He's, had bouts with diabetes. So it's like he definitely needs to get his rest to preserve his health. Said a big guy through the hookah. But see, this is the thing. Somebody wants money. They're trying to shame and humiliate Boosie, and they want money. That it looked like the guard was helping her pick up her stuff. Yeah, Seven of Pentacles. It's like there's a lot invested here, waiting to see if there's going to be a bigger harvest, bring stability. So everybody's looking at Boosie as the cash cow. It's like it don't matter who did what. You the one with the bag. We all gonna just, run up the check. The chariot. It's like Boosie was trying to get out the way. Whatever was happening, he was working on getting out the way. So whether I haven't seen the video, but it looks like by the time they caught the frame, Boosie was getting out the way. Um, he automatically got to thinking about his family and how this was going to affect his life. So I don't see him taking an active role. Say, yeah, when he was picking her stuff, they claim Boosie hit him. That's what I just read in the news report. Say, yeah, the girl, he only 33, I mean 43. Yeah, it's like he was trying to get himself together to go. Yeah, the son. So he's worried about, if this situation is going to get better, if they're going to be able to expose everything that happened. He's truly heartbroken over how this is working out. He's like, I'm shocked, I'm appalled, I'm ashamed that people would go this far. Nine of Pentacles, Four of Pentacles. So it's like he's been stubborn in the past when it comes to, doing things his way, or, moving a certain way. And now he's going to have to really step it up. Not just with the type of gigs that he takes performances to, but he's going to have to step it up with his security. I think it'll be better for him to do bigger venues and to really get his presence out there in social media, and to work in social media, his own blog, podcast, something of that nature, and transfer more so into being a personality. But he's had so much flashing through his mind over, the past week. Like he really wants to get married. He wants to focus on being a good person, being a family man, and it's like he's at this point he tired of the streets. It's like you can have it, you can hang this shit up. The streets ain't worth it no more. Um, Six of Pentacles, Six of Swords. Uh, yeah, that's somebody trying to get some money out this, get a bag, and get out of toxic, chaotic situation. So it definitely feels like they lined him up in this situation so that somebody can get a bag and level up. Yeah, he's totally ready to get married. And it's like this is bringing him so much shame and humiliation. He just wants to be able to move forward. He's worried about losing his family, losing everything he built. Um, Show me the guy who worked the club. Show me the guy who worked the club. Ten of Swords, Six of Swords. Y'all, literally, this is like getting down on somebody, hitting a lick, and getting out the way. So it's like it really depends on Boosie's lawyer how well he argues this, but it seems like the guy is going to have to walk away from this situation, um, because he's going to put himself in even more harm's way if he pushes it legally. Because when it all comes down to it, this type of person was not supposed to be doing security at all at this club. Everybody in this club, everybody in this business, it's like they all can take a loss out of this. So here it is. This is the Eight of Swords. And this is why they're shifting the narrative, because it's like the security guard can face going to jail. And they're trying to avoid, public shame, scrutiny, humiliation, because let's just think about it. If the club is found in the wrong for hiring this type of employee, not only can Boosie sue, but the other employees can sue for being put in danger, because I'm pretty sure they don't have any idea about this man working in possible traffic or whatever his past is. Whatever his past is and was, it feels like he was never supposed to be there doing this job anyway. So it's definitely a hot potato. It's like everybody's trying to keep from getting caught up holding the bag in this situation. Yeah, this is all about maintaining stability, and this is backdooring somebody. Seven of Swords. Damn, Boosie, you got caught in the middle of, I mean, they got you front, back, side to side. Knight of Pentacles. So it feels like this is going to drag out for a moment because there's even more secrets attached to this situation, and it feels like this club they need this situation to go away as fast as possible, because the bouncer, the guy who's doing security, is just the half of what could come out. Oh, y'all got allegedly, y'all got a whole bunch of stuff that could come out and close this damn business. So yeah, they're trying to find a way to close this cycle out as fast as they possibly can, because the past attached to this bouncer opens up all types of questions and investigations for the club and other things that they could actually be possibly involved in. So whoever owns the club might be heavy in the street. Wouldn't be surprised about that. But they don't need anybody looking into them to find out just how heavy they are in the street, allegedly. So you got the Empress here, and Empress is not just about a pregnant woman. This is about, who brought a situation into fruition that brought shame, humiliation, and regret. So they're going to get down to the nucleus of who actually caused this. Parallax, I believe that you may be correct. And the interesting thing is, like I said, any respectable club with the past legal history with this security guard, I gotta say allegedly and for entertainment purposes only, this man was never supposed to get this job. He was never supposed to work in this club. He was an extreme risk. So if they're doing those types of things, I wouldn't be surprised, and it would make sense that you would hire this type of person, because if he may have allegedly worked in traffic, then there's no telling what type of people that he's tied to, business opportunities where people are working under the table and making lots of money under the table. So you got the lovers here. Um, And it seems okay, so that's even more odd because the Nine of Pentacles talks about an independent woman, and then the Lovers talks about, you know, um, a person that somebody could possibly allegedly be sleeping with. So let's just say somebody is single, but they got a situationship or they got a baby daddy or something. It's like these people somehow, some way know each other outside of this equation. Somebody knows somebody very, very personally. Three of Cups, Nine of Wands. So I do think with the right lawyer, Boosie can kind of like skate through this, but they got to take their time to, provide the right evidence. Seven of Swords. Yeah, he got backdoored. And these people go way back. Six of Cups. So yeah, it definitely looked like he got set up for sure. So it's time for Boosie to evolve his brand and where he likes to work, because it's like the hood stuff. He needs to be less accessible to the hood stuff, and I know that's not, something that he wants to do, because it's like, I'm from the hood, I'm just like y'all, we good, I understand hood shit. But when you reach a certain level of success, you have to separate. You have to put yourself in a position to separate and be around people that have things to lose. Because if you're not around people that have things to protect, they have things to lose, you're really putting yourself in harm's way in a way that you're not going to come back from. Because if you're dealing with people that don't have anything to lose, it ain't nothing for them to crash out. What they going to lose? They don't have anything built up. Say he can't do the hood clubs no more, but that's his core audience. Yeah, it's starting to feel that way. So he does not have any other skills. Don't mean that he don't have any other skills. It's just, if this is your bread and butter, if this is how you make the majority of your money, you just gonna go with what actually makes you your money. He can have plenty of skills. It's just this is the skill that pays the bills. So from what I'm looking at, he needs to focus on becoming more of like maybe a content streamer or a lifestyle streamer in some type of way, and come up with a podcast where he can do sit down interviews and go more off into being a personality and a businessman that way, because it's like the street stuff is gonna take him under one way or the other. And it's like, when you separate from a certain energy and you decide you don't want to live a certain way anymore, you want to elevate, life is going to challenge you to see if you really want to elevate. And If you don't, you're going to go back to the very situations that put you in harm's way. So it's like now he really has to consider, what is he going to do? What type of places does he want to work? In the meantime, having your own security, having that in the budget when you go and perform is just a lot. And it's definitely taxing him. It's messing with his mental health, worrying him, his physical health, because he's not getting the proper rest. And it's something about anxiety can run up his blood pressure. So he has to be very, very careful of keeping his blood pressure in a respectable, normal reach. So I wish him well on, providing the evidence of what actually happened versus what he's being accused of. But either way, Boosie got to prepare himself to transfer out of the streets. It's a hard pill to swallow, but any and everybody from the streets eventually has to, elevate or be eliminated. That's how the streets work. So if you're gonna be out there beating the block, you got to know it's a time limit to where eventually that being on the block stuff it backfires. It's toxic, it's destructive, and it's like he liked being with the people. He liked being able to connect, but he's got to also think about the overall safety of him and his family and everything he built. So I mean, you say he's gotten away with a lot. It's his time. It's time. He's definitely being whacked. Karma is definitely whacking him. But it's like the universe is testing his hand. Like you say you want to change, you say you want a new life, show me. What you willing to give up, what you willing to do. And this is this decision that he's got to make right now. What is he really willing to give up? And what is he really willing to do to have his family, to have a peaceful life, to be able to be an entrepreneur and continue to live comfortable with his family. So it's literally it's that shit or get off the pot. You got to change one way or the other. That one foot in and one foot out, it ain't working no more. You got to decide if you're gonna keep both your feet in or if you're gonna get all the way out. I would suggest it's time. Get all the way out. Get out while the getting is good. You always gonna have a synergy with the hood because of where you come from, but it's time to elevate. It's time to grow. So it's time to be bougie though. Okay? It's time to up your standards and put yourself in a position to where it's safe not just for you to win, but for all the generations attached to you to win. You got to set it up to where you build a brand that's going to be safe for your children to take over and then their children and their children's children. But the bigger problem for Boosie is all of this energy building up and catching up to you and catching up to your bloodline. You're going to have to make some serious decisions because you got the law all across your bloodline. Your son, you just had that incident in Indiana with the promoter over your daughter. So it's a lot. And it's time to go from doing street business to business. Is he gonna be able to make the transition? We just gonna have to watch and find out. So, y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and end it tonight for Allegedly Wednesdays. This has been Allegedly Wednesdays, where all things said are for entertainment purposes only and are alleged allegedly. If you'd like to book a reading with me, please email me at Angel Kisses the Oracle at gmail.com. A 30-minute reading is $44. An hour is 88. An ancestral reading is 111. And a criminal aid reading is 250. Whew, goodness gracious. Y'all, I'll see everybody in membership tomorrow evening. I want to say, is it 7? It's like between 7:30. But I'll see y'all tomorrow evening. And then I'll be back for Allegedly Fridays at 8 p.m. on Friday between here and Twitch. And we are closer to that 1,000 on Twitch. So no sooner we cross that 1,000, which I want to say we're just over like 100 people away. So when we cross that 1,000, everything will be able to be made public because they keep the videos, they have them in the vault for I want to say up to 60 days. But if you don't have enough subscribership, they don't make anything public. So let's make the stuff public so that y'all can come back and rewatch what's on Twitch. And then I can do more Twitch uploads, and we can get more off into grown folks conversation over there on Twitch. But y'all have a wonderful evening. Many blessings to all of y'all, and good night. Ciao. Boosie, have mercy. That's a whole lot of child. It's time though. It's time. Boosie got to change to save his entire bloodline. Is he gonna be able to do it? We'll just have to sit back and watch and see. So, bye bye, y'all.